I love the people I'm surrounded by. I think that
You're welcome.
yeah, you're one of them though. You're one of them. I just wish that you would stop messing around and get your skydiving.
I ain't messing around. It's a work in progress.
Yeah.
As am I. Always a work in progress.
Yeah.
You are now tuning in to the Relentless Project. Real people, real stories, real life.
What's up, everyone? This is Fish. This is my homie Fish. I know y'all have heard about him because I drop him in just about every episode subtly. He's the one who got me into skydiving. He was the reason I was in Houston for the Iron Man. He's the reason I call him Iron Mike. We started Valor together. I mean, this dude attributes to a lot of like the stories I tell. So this episode is not sponsored by Ghost.
Just sponsored by Caffeine Addiction.
Yeah, here we are. And let's get into it.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, give them a little intro about yourself. How would you introduce yourself if someone was like, introduce yourself?
My name is Fish. I go by the nickname. I got it in the Marines a long time ago. My real name is Michael. Pretty common name.
Pretty basic.
Everyone knows a Michael. So, I didn't want to get mixed up with people. I go by Fish.
It's like an abbreviated last name, or is it because you were in the Marines?
Yeah, so my last name's Fisher. When I got to my unit, there was already a Fisher there. Already established. He owned it. Yeah. And so I got shortened.
All these Fishers are on here.
Yeah, so there's another Fisher. So I lost the rights to my name. And it kind of just stuck after that. Everyone, I had friends come home with me and they call me Fish, and then it just kind of stuck.
Yeah, when I first heard it, when I first heard them call you Fish, I'm like, that makes sense. Like it's easy, it's short. It's
People will be like, "Oh, do you like the fish?" I'm like, "Not really."
No, it's just my name. Like literally, it's my name. Like Ishmael shortened to Ish.
Yeah.
And then everywhere we go, it's Ish and Fish.
Well, and it's funny because it's easy to remember. You know, people who just suck at names, Ish is like, you mean it's kinda? And they're like, no, it's Ish.
Dude, so let me go on a little dive about this because this is it's frustrating, right? So my name is Ismail.
Yep.
Got butchered as a kid. So it turned into Ishmael.
Yep.
Still spelled with no H. Gets butchered because there's no H. So I'm like, how can I'll go by Ish. Bro, till this day, they're like, what's your name? Ish. What?
What?
Ish. Like literally I can't make it any easier or shorter.
I know. People always ask me, they're like, your parents named you Fish? I'm like, no, they didn't name me a fish.
No, my love for water.
Anyway.
So yeah, let's dive into.
Yeah. So if I had to explain myself, it's like my Instagram bio. I'm a professional fun haver, former child.
Dude, you are a professional. You are living like main character energy.
I don't mean main character energy. I'm living just my own story.
You are. And when I say that, I mean like the thing I respect about you, it's multifaceted. I mean, I can go down a rabbit hole on that, but it boils down to this. When you say you want to do something, you do it. And you do it like 110%. And I'm not talking like badass. It's like you dive into this like rabbit hole of doing it. For example, I want to skydive. That's what you said.
Yep.
Fucker's got his Class B license now. Like, you didn't just skydived or skydove. Skydived? I speak two languages. Skydived. You didn't just skydived. You, like, skydived.
Yeah.
Well, how many jumps do you have now?
60, 67, I think. Which, in retrospect, I mean, you meet people in the sport, thousands. And some of these like legendary guys have tens of thousands of jumps.
Oh, it's crazy. Like I look at you and I'm like, dude, 60 something jumps. That's insane. Yeah. And then you
like I haven't even scratched the surface.
And they're like, oh, I'm on my like 900th jump, and I'm like, dude, when we were at and was it? We didn't go to Rick's together. We went to Skydive PA.
You went to Rick's.
When we went to Skydive PA, the one dude jumped like 30 times that day. So it was like something outrageous.
Yeah, he would get off the plane and they'd already have another chute ready for him so he could take another tandem up. And like he was sweating because of how it was a workout for him.
Talk about like a hit workout.
Yeah.
you're jumping out of a plane. Your heart is like, I don't know. Does your heart still race?
Ironically, it doesn't. I mean, I have my Garmin, and I can actually track my jumps now. My last jump I did, I think my heart rate was at like 67 BPM or something.
Bro, that's my heart rate when I'm sleeping.
It is.
That's my resting heart rate.
It used to get up there. And like when I was going through the course, I mean, I did it in like 4 days or something. I did my entire skydive course, ground school and everything was like 4 days.
So you can book out a week, right? But
Yeah.
as
So
if you get
you
done
can do it as
sooner.
long as you want. I mean, some people take years to do it. Now there are setbacks and you got to redo jumps and stuff if you have taken extended time off. But if you wanted to knock it out as fast as you can, you can. I did like 8 jumps on one day. And this was while I was training for Ironman. I was no more exhausted doing Ironman than I was for the skydive course. You get 7 adrenaline dumps in one day.
Bro, I can't imagine.
Like it was like I was wearing a weighted blanket. I was just so exhausted after that last jump.
Dude, it's like policing, right? What I do, like we go to these calls where adrenaline dumps,
Yep.
you know, and then you're dealing with a raccoon in a yard, then adrenaline dump,
Yeah.
and then you're dealing with a person not wanting to leave it, and then adrenaline dump. Dude, by the end of the day, you're like, I'm fucking like, you didn't fight anyone, you didn't
Yeah.
wrestle, but it's like I'm exhausted.
Yeah, your body goes in that fight or flight mode, and then you're expected to come back down.
Yeah,
And then
like,
it goes right back up, and it comes back down. And you're just like on this roller coaster of just emotion and intensity the whole day. And it's like a big ball of stress, and then it's just, you have to let it go.
So what made you want to? Because you we'll back up a little bit just real quick, but we'll dive into it. You moved to Houston for the Ironman, and we're gonna get into that. But while you're training for one of the hardest things that you've elected to do, you decide to like do skydiving as well. Like it wasn't like a mutually exclusive thing. You're like, oh, I'm down here. Oh, I might as well do this too. Like what made you in the midst of training, because you were running, you were biking, you were swimming nonstop. What made you decide to go into skydiving?
Well, I mean, I guess to go forward, I think we should go back. But
Depth, bro.
I just
depth.
feel like there's important parts of the story that got me to Texas, that got me to the Ironman.
Let's get into it.
And
Caffeine's kicking in. I had coffee before this. I'm sweating.
caffeine doesn't even work for me anymore. It just keeps the headaches
I'm
away.
seeing music and hearing
It just keeps the headaches away at this point.
keeps the noise at bay. So okay, let's back up then.
So I guess to go back to your first question on a little bit about myself, I like to consider myself just a regular dude. I don't even know why I'm on this podcast.
See, I was gonna get into that, but I'll wait. Go finish.
You know, I look at some of the other people you've had on this podcast. I mean, you have masters of, you know, arts and people have dedicated their life and their being to a purpose or a direction. And in some instances, I have been that person. But as a whole, I don't categorize myself as that person. I used to be. So a little backstory on me. I grew up in a military family. My dad served in the Marine Corps in Vietnam. Did 5 months or so in Vietnam before getting blown up. He got blown up and shot in the same day.
He's still alive. I just got to caveat that because
yeah. So,
jeez.
well, I mean, I wouldn't be here if he
Yeah.
wasn't.
Well, I'm like, geez.
He ended up losing his leg. And in the process of getting blown up and losing his leg, and full of shrapnel and burns and everything, he continued to fight and ended up getting shot after that while he was bleeding out. And then, you know, eventually wakes up on a naval ship outside of Da Nang, getting all bandaged up like weeks later. He ends up retiring out of the Marine Corps. But, I mean, he's a super proud Marine. I mean, he would have done 20, 30 years.
It was kind of like hey, you've done your time, like you're done now.
Yeah, you couldn't back then. Yeah, back then, I mean, now you can probably get away with it, but even then, to an extent, I mean, he was messed up. Had to learn how to write again, had to learn how to walk again. I mean, even the doctors had told him, they're like, you know, you're 19 now. You won't be walking at 30, and don't be expected to be alive at 40. He's 73 now.
Yeah, dude.
And he still walks around, by the way.
Yeah, like when I first, I mean, how long have we been knowing each other now? Like 6 years, 7 years, 5 years?
2018. So 6 years?
So about 6 years. When I first met your old man, I had no clue.
Yeah, no one knows.
Anything. He's like, normal dude.
It was so normal to me as a kid. I thought that when boys grew up, they lost a leg. I was a little kid. I'm like, I gotta enjoy my time with my legs while I got them because one's gone.
That explains a lot, dude. That explains a lot about how you operate.
That's how normal it was to me. I thought all the kids, their dad didn't have a leg. It was just a thing. I mean, you're a kid. You don't understand war.
Dude, that's so true, too. Like, as a kid, like, if you break a leg, you're like, this is it. This is me forever. Yeah. Because you don't understand your leg heals and all that stuff. So, yeah. I
can't explain war to a kid.
Yeah. Dude, that's crazy. So, I met him. He was, like, so normal, so chill. And then, I think it was, like, 2 years in, I found out he had a prosthetic leg.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
Yep.
Like, he's just out here just doing whatever.
But, to fall back on that, growing up as a kid, I mean, we got no pity points. I mean, me and my siblings, it's a miracle none of us died. We were, out in the middle of nowhere, didn't live in the city, didn't have, close neighbors. So we just had to make up fun on our own. We used to just get into the most crazy things. I'm talking like bowling balls on the trampoline. We used to, in the summertime, pull sleds behind the four-wheeler and just whiplash people into trees. And then we take my sister's Jeep Wrangler through the woods and just ripping through the woods and fields. And I mean, I'm like 12 years old. It was a miracle none of us died. And I mean,
that's a story of resilience right there.
But in that, we never got pity points from our dad. Like when I broke my arm when I was 7, I'm coming to my dad. I'm like, my arm is broken. He's like, it's fine. He starts going like this and twisting it around. I'm like, ah! And he's like, all right, maybe it's broken. Takes me to the hospital. But like, we got no pity points. My dad would never give us that. He didn't get any pity. When he came home from Vietnam, he wasn't going to raise victims. And my dad, anyone who knew my dad growing up was afraid of him. And it's funny because the Ken Fisher you met is not the Ken Fisher that of years past.
No, he's still in there. Like you see him in his eyes, and it's like he carries a piece everywhere he goes.
Yeah, my dad used to tell me he'd say, "I'm not your buddy, I'm not your pal, I'm not your friend, I'm your father. I'm here to teach you right from wrong and make sure that you can survive in the world without me."
Oh, I didn't get that, Mr. Fisher. He gave me a hug.
Oh yeah,
he gave me a hug before he gave you a hug.
I've hugged my dad one time.
I give hugs all the time.
One time.
I'm a hugger, bro. Come here, Mr. Fisher. He's like, I'm gonna fucking kill this kid. Probably.
Yeah.
Like,
never said I love you to my dad. Just hug one time, and it was when I graduated honor grad at boot camp. But anyway, we'll get to there. But yeah, we got no pity points. All my girlfriends were terrified of my dad. My dad would never call my girlfriends or my sister's boyfriends by their real name. Like he would just, if it's Sarah, she's Sydney. If it's Adam, it's Alex.
He was playing those games from the beginning.
Like doesn't even register on. You don't even register on my radar. But anyway, like
shout out Chip, man.
Yeah.
Shout out Chip.
Yeah, shout out Chip.
I hope he hears this.
But anyway, like I didn't even have my first sip of alcohol till I was 19 and in the Marine Corps because I was terrified of my dad finding out because he would kill me.
So was it very like regimented?
Oh yeah, it was.
Like,
my dad was drill instructor through and through.
How? So there's two schools of thought on this, right? It's like you're raised in this strict environment, and it's like you're raised strict, you're raised poised, you're raised organized. And then there's the other thought. It's like, oh, that's like a toxic environment, and like just more of the like victim mentality of like, well, not, and then people end up like going complete opposite.
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword because it could push you one way or the other. I've seen people in that environment push so far against it that their lives are messed up bad now. They go down the wrong path. Especially you see it a lot with, and I didn't really notice this till after the Marine Corps and I went to college, but a lot of college kids too, you see this with, where they get in to college and this is their first taste of freedom, and they just go off. They go off the deep end, and they lose it. They don't have that structure and that, guidance. And because
the constant guidance.
Yeah, and they've been so constrained that now that there's no barriers, they go too far. So you can see it, but then you have on the other spectrum, the other college kid who goes to college and they're like, I've been trained for this. I'm going to get my really good GPA and I'm going to get this really good job out of college. So it's.
So how did you manage that? How is it something you felt you had to like, you knew you can go one way or the other, or was it just like one road for you and there was just like, you knew that was it? Like I must be disciplined. I must respect. I must.
Really, we'll have to kind of go back. So growing up, I got into dirt bikes, like really into dirt bikes. Being in the country, it had a lot of land. We had, ATVs and dirt bikes. Well, by the time I was like 10, 11, I wanted to race. I mean, I would watch it on TV as big Travis Pastrana fan, watching the X Games and Ricky Carmichael and all this. And I wanted to race. So I tried it once when I was like 7, and I went so slow that I fell over and cried. My dad's like, never again. Like, you embarrassed me. We wasted our time. That was
runs a tight
ship. That was a shit show. And anyway, like when I'm 12, I'm like, I want to try it again. So I got a more race-oriented bike, and I started racing. And we just went to local stuff. It was a way my dad would, hang out. I got to hang out with my dad, and my siblings did it too. And we got to spend more time. And then it kept us out of trouble. When you're starting to get to that teenager age is when
you're staying busy.
Yeah.
You have like a sense of
So
purpose.
On the weekends, I would go racing. Rather than go to these parties or, get into trouble, I was always racing. But when I turned like 14, 15, especially 16, I got really good. Like it's like I turned a corner. I got up on the big bikes, and it's, stuff started clicking, started making sense. And I started winning races a lot. And then we started traveling farther and winning bigger races. I mean, I wasn't just the best in this zip code or this, county.
You were like
I was
doing the thing.
I was racing dudes from all over the world. I mean, I was traveling all over the country, racing people from Germany, from France, from Puerto Rico, Brazil.
You can't catch me on the dirt. Although I do ride the little ones.
Yeah. And we got very competitive. I mean, if you watch Supercross today, I've raced in the 450 class. I've raced a good half of those guys growing up. And
wow.
And I have friends that are still doing it, professionally. And but I got to that point when I was about 18. I had trained really, really hard, and we were every weekend. Every weekend we go from Oklahoma to Florida to Alabama, New York to Michigan to Illinois.
How do you train for stuff like? Is it just something you have to like?
Seat time is very important, but it's a lot of HIIT training. You want to get some strength training, but it's a lot of HIIT training or like Metcons. You really want to spike that heart rate and then chill it, be able to control and bring it back down.
So you're training like physical elements. What about like the nuance of the actual riding and stuff? Is there like drills you do?
Oh yeah,
on the
absolutely.
track,
Oh, seat time is important, but technique. I mean, where your feet placement is. Gripping with the knees. Your elbows up over the handlebars, where you're transferring your weight. At
that level, is there like classroom time too? Like, are you sitting down and studying different?
So I went to a couple motocross courses, I guess you could call them, where you learn the technique, and then you also do classes for nutrition and the actual fitness strength side of it, how to help transfer it over to the bike. But I growing up, doing that, I learned a lot about it. But I get to, when I'm about 18, and I'm listen, I'm very, I don't like to fluff it up. I was good,
I can attest to that because a lot of people have talked about you and when your motocross days.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll call motocross days and stuff. And you still do it. Like,
Oh
it's
yeah,
still-
I still do it.
that's-
I still do it for fun.
Yeah, like, and they're not just for fun. You have like the bikes that are like,
Oh no, like I can still compete very well in
and-
the local pro level.
and that's what I mean about like you don't just do something.
yeah,
You like
like at the national
it.
level, I'm not relevant in the pro scene, but like locally or even like regionally, yeah, I'm.
I think I could take you
I think you could too.
in a car
I want to see
when
you
I hit you.
I want to see you hit the jump. Hit the jump.
So speaking of hit the jump, you were doing this thing. You were doing so well, and then what happened?
So it requires a lot. I mean, you do the math. If we're going to Oklahoma this weekend, practices on Friday, races are Saturday, Sunday. We got to go Wednesday or Thursday. So say we go, we do the race, say I don't have a good weekend. Say I fall or something in the second corner or whatever, and I have to work my way back up. That sucks. Monday, we're driving back. Sunday through the night into Monday, get back Monday night. Now it's bike work, bike prep, bike maintenance, Tuesday. Then we might be riding on Wednesday because we got to practice. Got to get some seat time. Bike prep Thursday. Friday, we're driving to Michigan for a race Saturday, Sunday. And then, again, say I don't have another good weekend. Because you're racing dudes from the best in the country.
Yeah, people probably this is a living for them.
Yeah. And it requires a lot of money. I mean, we had a big motorhome, a 42-foot motorhome with a 25-foot car trailer. I had 4 bikes, mechanic, like the whole.
Do you have to travel with your mechanic, or
Yeah,
do you find like a local one? How's
No,
that work?
he traveled with us.
It's like mobile NASCAR.
Yeah, and
Mobile NASCAR.
but I mean, and all these people are counting on you. My dad's putting all this money and this time into it, and my mechanic is busting his tail, making sure my bikes are prepped, ready to go. And if you don't perform, it's a lot on you.
Everyone loses.
Yeah, everyone
off
loses.
of your performance.
Off of my performance. And my dad, being, as hard as he was, he would come over after a bad performance. He'd be like, "Why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do that?" And I know it. Like I'm the racer. I know. Why didn't I do that? Why didn't I do that? But I don't need to hear it again. He's beating the dead horse, and it got a lot on his relationship. And so I graduated 2012. Oh, by the way, I did a couple years of online school so I could do the moto scene. But I went back for the last semester of my senior year to get my diploma. And
So you were doing college through all this too.
no, my degree, my diploma,
your
my
diploma,
high school diploma.
okay.
Yeah. So I went back my last semester of high school so I could get a actual high school diploma, not an online diploma. And then that fall, I did some more of the national stuff with dirt bikes. And then that winter, I was getting set to go down to Georgia to live for the winter. It was like December, and I was going to go spend January, February, March, and then come back up in April and do some of the races on my way back. And but before I left, my dad and I just got into it. And like we were butting heads every day, every night, and and I'll never forget this till the day I die. He said, "You're a spoiled, entitled little prick, and you would never make it in my Marine Corps." He said it would chew you up and spit you out. That's all I needed to hear. Next day, called the recruiters.
Is that what caused you to enlist?
Yep. I was never a kid that was like, I want to go in the Marine Corps when I get older.
Despite your dad being like
well, I mean, it was my dad doing that and a compounding of, the moto stuff draining on me. And then you're 18, you're like, you don't really know what you want to do. And I was caught in this like crossroads. I'm like, the moto scene, like it's not paying the bills. And it's really just mentally just draining me. I'm not having fun riding anymore like I used to.
That's the tough part, man. Like when you invest yourself into something so much and then
You dig your heels in.
it becomes a burnout.
And you just lose it to where you were. And I loved dirt bikes so much growing up, and I got to the point where I did not want to ride. And that affects your performance as well. If you don't want to be there, it is going to drain your performance.
Oh yeah, it's in anything you do.
Yeah, anything.
Like that's why mindset is like we always talk about mindset.
Yeah.
I remember we had a little argument over discipline versus motivation.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Via text. I'm in the gym. I'm like, I'm just not motivated. Dude, and you hit me with a fucking paragraph. I was like, I'm gonna fucking fight this nerd, dude. But I was like, that makes sense. Like it's like he's like, so what? You're not motivated. So what?
Yeah.
Like you have to do it.
The difference between you being motivated and someone else not being motivated is you're still there.
Yeah, I'm like, all right, dude. Like, fuck me then.
Yeah.
But so yeah, it's that mindset. If you're not in it, there's no way you can perform how you normally would because you're already against yourself. You have that mental friction.
Even with the discipline part, if you go and you don't want to be there, yeah, you still went. But I guarantee you, if you could put an analytic to it, that performance on that workout versus one that you wanted to go to, it's gonna be night and day.
Oh, for sure. At the gym, I wake up at 4 for the gym. I get there at 4:30, and I'm like, there's days where I'm like, fuck, I don't want to be here, but I'm here. I got to work out in.
Mm-hmm.
I got to work out in.
Yep.
Versus the one where I'm like, I'm gonna go fucking destroy my shoulders today. And
Like the squat rack is empty.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I have to use the squat rack. It's just, and you're done. You're pumped. You're like, man, this was like the quality of workout differs for sure. So yeah, absolutely.
And so that, in addition to my dad and being that age where you got to figure it out, I was like, you know what? I was like, the Marine Corps gives me a couple years to think about what I want to do. I get to jump out of helicopters, blow shit up. I'm like, it really doesn't sound like that. And I was like, and I want to, show my dad. And so, yeah, I didn't tell him. I went and called the recruiters. And they're like, all right, cool. Come in. We'll do it. I did the ASVAB, did the MEPS and everything. And they're like, all right, well, what do you want to do? I was like, I want to be in 03. I want to be 0311. They're like, well, we don't have any of those contracts right now. I'm like, cool. Let me know when you do. Left. They're like, we have motor transport and intel and I think artillery or something. I'm like, nope. I want to be in 0311. My dad was in 0311. I'm gonna be in 0311. And sure enough, a couple days later, they're like, oh, we traded with another recruiting station. When 0311 is the most common job in the Marine Corps.
Is that what is that essentially like?
That's a rifleman. You're 11 Bravo.
I would say it's like 11 Bravo.
Yeah.
So like, I had the same thing, but to me it wasn't like that motivation. I went to the Navy recruitment, and I was like, I want to be a SEAL. And they're looking at this punk kid from the city. They're like, okay, we make everyone who comes in here and says that watch this video. They sat me down. They was like, we'll be back in 10 minutes. And it was this dude talking about what a daily life of a SEAL. And it was like, I wake up, I run 10 miles, then I get ready and I bike to work. I run for lunch. After lunch, I run after work. I run home. I'm like, they come in, they're like, so I'm like, I don't want to be a SEAL anymore. Next door was the Army recruitment, and then went in there, and I was like, yeah, I want to do the Army. Yeah. They're like, what do you want to do in the Army?
Carry a rifle.
I was like, oh, I don't know, like, I want to be the Army, and they're giving me a list of jobs and stuff, and I was like, this is what I do, 11 Bravo, whatever that is, infantry. They're like, okay, no one comes in here and signs up for that. Like,
bend my arm.
dude, I scored insanely high in the ASVAB to the point where they
I did not.
Well, to the point where they came to me, they're like, hey, you sure you want to do this? You can do all this other stuff. And I'm like, I don't know what that is. Yeah, I want to do this.
I had a buddy who scored a 99 on the ASVAB, which is like a perfect score.
Yeah.
And
I had a 96.
He's like, I want to be a Marine Corps infantryman. And funny story.
They're probably beating their fucking...
Yeah, they're like, you could be intelligence, you could be presidential detail, like you could do all this stuff. And he's like, no, I want to be a rifleman. Long story short, he went in the Marine Corps because a girl said he wasn't tough enough and broke up with him. So he's like, I'm going to the Marine Corps. I'm going to be tough. Show her.
Dude, that is so fun. And like, to me, I was like, dude, I'm not going to be alive for much longer because stuff I was doing.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm like, this is a good way to break, like.
And just get out of here.
Because they had come to our high school and I enlisted with the Guard.
Yep.
Chill out, relax, hold your tongue. And they were like, hey, man, like, this is the best of both worlds. Like, we have actually a program where you enlist now. I was a junior. You go to basic. You finish your senior year, and then you go to AIT. And I'm like, I get to break it up? Like,
yeah.
I'm like, oh, man, that's cool. I'll do that. My mom didn't speak English.
Yep.
So I was like, you need to sign these papers for them to talk to me. It was my enlistment paperwork. It's like, do you have eczema? Do you have this? I'm like, oh, just not, no. She's like, okay, bro. I disappeared my junior year of summer. My mom had no idea where I went. This is how sketchy it was. The Armory was in Erie on 6th
He's like, I think he's over at a friend's house.
Dude, yeah. So like,
for 3 months.
This is how crazy it is. This recruiter, and this is probably, I don't even know if this is allowed. So like, I'm not gonna say no names, but this dude pulls up in a white van. Picks me up at my house, takes me to the Armory in Erie, and then they closed that down and moved it to Cambridge Springs next to the women's prison. So we met down there. It was like 3 people. We would sit in this corner waiting for this white van to pull up. We'd get in. They would take us to RSP in Cambridge Springs, and then we would do that. And then like, oh, we have your MEPS date. It's gonna be in Buffalo. Like, is your mom cool with that? I'm like, yeah, she's cool with that. All right, we'll pick you up. Picks me up in this white van, takes me to Buffalo, leaves me in a hotel room.
Yep.
I get violated by an old man.
And we all have.
Yeah.
If you've gone in, you know it's
it is what it is.
part of the process.
Oh, and I'm like, I'm in Buffalo. Like, I don't know anyone. Like, I just got dropped off at this hotel. And they brought me back. And then they're like, hey, this is your ship date. Like, make sure you get all your things in order. And then they give me like this video of what to expect for basic. And I'm like, oh, this ain't too bad. Yeah. It's fucking miserable. Anyway, I had no idea. Like, a lot of the best people who join, it's like, I don't know what else I got. I'm going to try this. And then it's like their fucking life.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it was only the Marine Corps. I mean, there was no Army, there was no Navy, there's no Air Force.
I can't imagine that house. What would have happened in that house like that? I enlisted into the Air Force.
But then, but on the other, page of that is, you're going to MCRD. You're going to Marine Corps boot camp. You are going to see a drill instructor.
Everyone thinks that's like military basic. I'm like,
yeah, no,
it's just Marines. I mean, I got yelled at. You get made look like the veins popping and that's mainly Marines. Like,
drill instructors take it personal when you are not screaming and you're not putting out, because they are giving 100% every second. My drill instructor used to throw up vomit because they have ripped their vocals from screaming so hard, and their uniforms would just be stained with sweat because they're just running nonstop. Like, they would take it personal if you didn't. Oh, it was...
Dude, and I think, unpopular opinion, I think every man should have to do at least 2 years in the military.
Yeah, I mean... for me, it's a double-edged sword because, I only want the guys who want to be there near me.
No, I get that. And that's why I said unpopular opinion, because I think every boy...
I think everyone should do some sort of public service. I think you get so much, you should have to give back something. Whether that's military or community service or helping your community in some way, or, firefighter duty, some service where you give back. But that's just my personal opinion.
And honestly, that was a huge reason on why I wanted to do the military, and why when it didn't work out, because being youngish.
It is what it is.
I was like, I have to do something, and that's why being a cop was the next best thing for me.
I know guys who got booted from boot camp for medical reasons. Like, I have a buddy, Kennedy, who the last week of boot camp, he'd already finished the Crucible, got his EGA and everything. We were doing PT out in the field. He got bit by fire ants, had an allergic reaction. They discharged him. We all still say he's a Marine. Like, if you did the walk, talk the talk, signed the dotted line, did the stuff, it is what it is.
We had a kid light his foot on fire to get out.
That's a little different. That's a little different.
He's like, I don't even want to fucking be here.
Yeah.
And we're like, dude, well, we're here. Like, we got a couple weeks left. Like, we're past green phase or white, whatever phase it was at that point. He's like, no, I'm gonna get out. I'm like,
yeah, they always find.
You don't want, you don't want that.
But that goes back to that. I want the people who want to be there.
But I agree. Especially out there. But I think everyone needs some sort of structure and rigidity, and a lot of my discipline was built through being surrounded by that, and now in the military, and surrounding myself with people like you, and I don't get to when I feel sorry for myself, I'll just shoot you a text message and talk about some random shit, because I know our conversations always lead to somewhere.
That's like what Isaac Newton said. Did he say it's if I have seen further, it's because I've stood on the shoulders of giants.
I love that quote.
Yeah,
Famous quote.
Love that quote.
Dude, that's so true. Okay, so you joined the Marines.
So anyway, yeah. So I'm like, hey, I want to be an 0311. They're like, we don't have it. I'm like, well, call me when you do. Sure enough, they find one. And I signed my contract, come in, sign my contract. They're like, all right, when do you want to go? And this is January, mind you. It's like mid-January. And like, when do you want to go? I'm like, whenever. And they're like, well, we have you set for August. Because they have all those people that have already been in, and then they have the summer drops from
That's
all the people who are
tough,
finishing
man.
high school.
That's like a whole lot of months of you just thinking.
So anyway, I'm like, all right, cool. And they're like, well, just you come back once a month to do your little, PT workouts with us or whatever. And
Check-ins.
yeah,
RSP.
check-ins. And 2 weeks later, they call me. They're like, hey, we had a guy who was supposed to go this weekend. He backed out. You want to go? I'm like, yeah.
Let me see what I got scheduled.
Yeah, I'm like,
that week.
I ain't got nothing going on. Let's do it. Told my dad, I'm like, hey, Dad, I'm going to boot camping this weekend.
How did he feel about that? How did he feel about you, one, enlisting and then doing it?
It's kind of weird because it's almost like it was like a reverse psychology kind of. Like, you won't make it in my Marine Corps. And then I'm going in. He was stoked. But, I mean, on the other side of it, he knows. Because I went in and OEF was still very much going on. So, like, I'm going in. I'm like, I'm going to Afghanistan. Like, this is happening. And so my dad also, was very worried, on the other side of it.
Yeah, his father side comes out.
Yeah, I mean, but he's been in the Marine Corps. He knows the job of the Marine Corps. The job of the Marine Corps is to go and fight and win America's battles. That's it. Like, it's not, winning hearts and minds. It is shooting hearts and minds.
Yeah. The good spots.
Yeah. So he knows the
That's got to be a t-shirt.
yeah,
Shoots
the
hearts and minds.
purpose.
Shooting hearts and minds.
Yeah.
Marines.
Yeah.
I'll get sued. Don't do that. I
So-
love you. I love you, Marines.
So anyway, I go to boot camp like 3 weeks after I talked to the recruiters. Within 3 weeks, I went from what are we doing this month to on the yellow footprints, getting my ear screamed at, and then buzzing my head. And I'm like, I may have made a mistake here.
Dude, that was my thought process until I was like graduated.
Yeah, so I was there in February, and when I got there, it was pouring rain. So when you get there, you put your head down between your legs, and you come on the bus, and they have a red light on the bus, and it's very dim, and then you stop, and then the drill instructor comes on. You have now arrived at MCOD Marine Corps Recruit Depot. My name is so get off my bus. And then you run out, get on the yellow footprints. It's downpouring rain. They just left us out there for like 10 minutes in the cold, pouring rain.
And then it began.
Yeah. Then you run in, and then you get to the phone, and they're screaming at you. And but then you get your head buzzed, and they take everything that makes you special and unique away. You don't get to keep your hair, your clothes, nothing. You are oil in the machine.
Did you get told what to pack? Like, it was like 3 packs of tighty whities.
No,
2
nothing.
Like, so we had to pack specific
Nothing.
bag.
They take everything.
And
they
they
say,
fucking
don't bring
dumped it.
this, don't bring
Yeah.
that, don't bring this. But basically it's like, bring that little pamphlet, wear a button-up shirt, some pants, and some shoes. And you get there, and you take them all off, you put them in this bag, roll the bag up, write your service number on there, and your name, and you put it in this bin, and you don't see it again until graduation.
What got you through that? Like, was it that, were you still in that mindset of like, I'm gonna prove my dad wrong?
At first,
Or did
but
you
then
lean
it
into
goes
it?
into like a survival thing. You're like, because everyone thinks, you got those guys, I'm going to punch a drill instructor in the face. I promise you're not.
That was my mentality.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Bro, I was like, I ain't gonna let this fucking dude yell at me. Cause I'm admit it now. I grew up, I was a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Probably still am.
I was spoiled and tired like my dad.
Like I grew up thinking, and then the older I got, especially when I enlisted, especially when I got around that, I'm like, dude, I owe this world so much. I've done so much taking, and I was so selfish. I was like, I owe this world. So that was what got me through. Is like, oh, I'm sick, I'm tired, I'm hurting. Like, all the people.
Yeah, see, I didn't even try to think about it that much. Like for me, they always say break up the days. You go to chow, sun up to sundown. So like bed to bed, and then church to church. So it's like if I'm breakfast chow, all right, let's just make it the lunch chow. All right, got the lunch chow. All right, let's make it the dinner chow. Cool, dinner chow, let's go to bed, wake up, and then you just make those days, and then church to church is a week. And so I didn't, like I said, I didn't try to think about it too much. But going through MCRD, I was never the best at anything, but I was really good at all things. You know, I didn't struggle. You know,
what is it? Jack of all trades,
master and none.
master of none.
So like,
but there's more to that people leave out.
Yeah,
it's good, but we'll get it. Google it.
But it's so like the rifle range, I had expert score. I didn't have marksman high. My knowledge, I didn't have a perfect score, but I had like 99%. My drill, I wasn't the best, but you didn't have to worry about me. You know, like all these things that you had to do, I was good, not the greatest. But what got me is, so when we were at rifle range, which is Marine Corps boot camp's broken up to 3 phases. Each phase is about a month. End of phase 2 is rifle range. So we finished a rifle range, and I got a really high expert score. It wasn't the highest in the company, but it was up there. One of our squad leaders failed. He didn't qualify. So when we went through the rifle range, it was during like a tropical storm. It rained the whole time. Wind was crazy. So a lot of people unked. But I had a really good score. So they fired him. And I'm sitting here folding my clothes or whatever. Drill instructor comes busting out. Recruit Fisher. Ah, sir. He's like, what'd you get on the rifle range today? And I was like, 236, sir. I think it was like an Apostle 250 or something. This was a long time ago, mind you. Like this is over 10.
Don't be
this
checking
is like
numbers.
This is like 10 years ago, all right? So cut me some slack. And he's like, what'd you get in your knowledge? 100, sir. And I forget something else he asked me. But it was like all these things I had to do, I did really well. And he's like, tight, you're a new third squad leader. The third squad leader had all the shit bags.
You're like, fuck.
And it's funny because I was like, fuck. I'm like, sir. And he walks away and everyone's looking at me, pointing and laughing. Like you got fucked. Like all the other guys volunteer. Like, I want to be a squad leader. I want to be a leader, you know? And when you pack on that's responsibility, you get extra shit with it. Last to eat. You do more fire watch. Anytime one of the guys in your squad messes up, you're getting messed up with them. So anyway, I had all the worst guys in my squad. And but apparently I didn't know this till after. So actually my dad is really good friends now, and me a little bit, with my senior drill instructor. And we had asked him, we're like, hey, you know, why did you make me a squad leader? Like, why did you make me honor graduate? He said, because after this, and even before this, when I was doing my knowledge or my pull-ups or something, my PT scores, that's what it was. The last one was a PT score. I had a perfect score on my PT test. And but if a guy struggled in pull-ups, on our 1 hour free time, when you got to write letters and stuff and do whatever, I was like, hey, let's go over and do some pull-ups. Or anytime you go in the head, do some pull-ups. Because the pull-up bar is right under the head. You know, or if someone's struggling in knowledge, I'm like, hey, this is the acronym I like to use to help me. You know, it helped me learn this or whatever, or rifle manual.
You were bringing everybody up. I mean, you were leading from the back of the pack.
But for me, it wasn't like, oh, I want us to be the best. I'm like, if this guy keeps messing up, I'm getting messed up. And some of these guys weren't even in my squad. And I'm like, hey, like, this is what I like to do. And that's why, you know, they move me along, because they're like, you recognize it's not about you, it's about the team. And that when we're all better, or when we're all better, we all move on together.
A rising tide raises all ships.
Yeah.
And like, dude, if people applied that mentality to everything they do, can you imagine where we'd be as a society?
Yeah, imagine like if your police department or your store or your business or whatever, everyone was just bought in. And you had all these guys at boot camp that they'd fall in the pity hole. Pity me, they're picking on me, they're singling me out, whatever. And I'm like, that's a bullshit attitude, you know?
I liked it.
And I'm like, you're like, we got to a point where some of these guys just gave up. They were like, I'm just not going to quit, but I'm also not going to try. And then we started getting messed up. And yeah, that's
the worst mindset to have for that type of stuff.
But anyway, so long story short, we go through the crucible. Me and my buddy Gann, who, honestly, one of the best Marines I ever knew. We were put with basically all birds in the platoon for a crucible, which is the last exercise you do before you get your equilibrium anchor.
End all be all.
Yeah. And we suffered getting these guys. I mean, these guys, there are people walking around today with their equilibrium anchor that only have it because of Gan and I. Straight up.
Them fighting words.
It's
But
listen,
they're also facts.
if you were there,
yeah.
the proof is in the pudding.
So what is, for those who don't know what the crucible is, run us what?
It's like a 3-day exercise, very limited sleep, very limited food. You're wet, tired, hungry, chafed, just suffer fest.
You're brought down to your
Yeah, it's a
Bottom
field
line,
exercise where you get very limited food, very limited sleep, and you're PTing and doing movements and stuff the whole time.
So it's essentially pressure testing
Yeah,
everything you've been through to see
teamwork,
where you've been,
you
where
know,
you are
and then
now.
just putting you under stress. But anyway, so we finish. I end up getting honor graduate and the meritorious promotion. My dad gets to come to my graduation and gets to sit with the commanding general up in the center tower. You know, we get pictures and coins with the commanding general of the base. I said I got meritorious promoted, and but it was a really, really cool event, really cool ceremony, and something I'll remember forever.
So the brotherhood is very strong for the Marines. You're
And turning that corner with the brotherhood, my dad after that moment was less like my father and more like my brother.
That's what I was gonna say.
And that's when our relationship really turned a corner.
You just took it out of my mouth.
Yeah.
So it being so tight, like, did they know you were Mr. Fisher's kid?
What do you mean?
Like
They.
there's they being people above you, people surrounding you. There's like to have a Purple Heart.
It was this was post that. So when my dad showed up and he was wearing his, little stuff with his Purple Heart and his Bronze Star and stuff on there,
So they had no idea.
they were like, "That's your father?" They're like, "Well, now it makes sense."
So they had no. That's what I was gonna say. They had no idea.
Yeah.
Because there could be this mentality of
And
like,
that's why now my senior, like after meeting my father after that, was like, holy, I want to get to know this guy. And so him and my dad developed a relationship when I was going through infantry school and in the fleet and stuff. And so even just up until like a year or two ago, we went to his sergeant major promotion. So I knew him when he was a staff sergeant. He just got promoted to sergeant major, and I think he's a sergeant major of like 2.6 now or something.
that's cool. You got he saw you grow, and now you're
Well,
on the other end watching
he
him.
he ended up. I was his last cycle. I was his last platoon, and I was his last honor grad. His last platoon. That platoon got honor platoon. So we finished first platoon out of all the platoons in the company that graduated, and he got drill instructor of the year for the entire Marine Corps, and invited my dad. I couldn't because I was in the fleet and couldn't get away, but he invited my dad to his gunnery sergeant promotion where he got promoted gunny by the Commandant of the Marine Corps, General Amos. So my dad got to meet General Amos and Sergeant Major Barrett, and it was really, really cool event. We still keep in touch regularly.
You want to throw him on the pod too? Jeez, let's just get this. Let's get the boat.
Listen,
going.
he is a Marine's Marine.
I feel
And
like
it was funny
I
because
can't-
when
I
we
can't
went
show up like this.
when we went to his sergeant major promotion, he comes up and gives me a big old hug. I'm like, this is weird. I'm like,
You
this
hugged
dude
me.
smoked me. This dude smoked me and basically seen me cry. And I'm
Dude.
like, and he comes up and hugs me like he's a uncle or something.
Well, he is now, dude. Like,
Yeah.
and that's what I love about the military. Anything you do that you invest yourself in and you develop a camaraderie, like you become a tight knit community.
You ask any Marine about their drill instructor, they will remember them to the second they die. The impact that individual, those individuals have on you and your character and your how you handle yourself after that.
dude. You're reprogrammed.
Yeah.
Like everything that you think is important that it's taken from you.
Yep.
And then they insert this
Yeah.
upgrade.
It's
in
funny
your
'cause-
mind.
High school, I was like a C student at best. Like I'm struggling to get C's. Post Marine Corps, I went to college, used my GI Bill. I mean, I was on the dean's list all the time, but it was like one of those. My work ethic was different, and I was like an adult student, and so it's like the subjects were harder than high school, but I was doing better. Why? Because I dedicated myself more. And then right after class, I wouldn't put off homework to the last minute. I just do it because it's fresh in my head. you know, and it's, you get more, you know, leniency in college where they're like, your responsibility is on you. You know, I'm not asking your parents. You do it. If you don't, you paid for the course. You're going to have to pay for it again.
Did you do that all in mentality? Like, you develop that through your time?
Yeah. Back to, like I said, standing on the shoulders of giants. I know some of the most incredible people that are well more worthy to be on this podcast.
So I'm glad we got back to that. That's a perfect circle because, fun fact, I've heard that about the majority of guests who've come on this podcast. Every time before we start recording, one, they try to talk me up, and I'm like, no, like, you're here. Like, we're here for you. And they're like, but like, why me? And perfect example, Britt. Phenomenal fighter.
Yep.
Awesome person. Phenomenal fighter. Quit a state job, had retirement, had benefits.
It's just like I said earlier about these people have dedicated everything to mastering a craft, and they've dedicated their entire being, and they put it all out there, which is just nuts.
But like, that is also you.
But it's
and like,
not.
and this is what pissed me off. Fish pisses me off regularly, and I'm gonna go on a rant. I should mute your mic because I'm gonna go on a rant. He has this knack of pissing me off, and I don't think I think it's on purpose. Now I'm starting to believe it's on purpose because he likes my Puerto Rican reactions. But I like tell him I'm gonna start this podcast, and he's like, "Oh, dude, that's dope." I give him the premise. He's like, "Oh, dude, that's dope." I'm like, "I'd love for you to be on it." He's like, "Nah, I ain't gonna be on it." I'm like, "How the fuck are you gonna support me and say no?" He's like, "Dude, I ain't nobody." And I'm like, "All right, okay, I need to have a conversation with this man." And I'm like, "Okay, you're not a nobody." I'm like, "But a lot of things that you've been through and experienced and your mindset on things, the conversations we have, that's what the podcast is going to be. I'm not going to sit here and inflate your ego. It's going to be us having a conversations because every time me and Fish talk, I leave and I'm like, fuck, dude, if younger Ish heard that conversation, or if like this dude I know heard this conversation that we just talked about, like that would be very beneficial."
See, and that's kind of my mindset coming on to the podcast. I used to be that guy that like dig my heels in and like I'm super just hard.
You're not that guy, pal.
I'm not that guy anymore. And we'll get to that part of the story, but like I think that some people could probably benefit in other ways that I think.
For sure.
And we'll get to that point. I think that's where I'm going to bring value, where I differ from some of your other guests, where they have, you know, really crawled through the trenches on something, which I don't do that anymore because, you know, like the moto thing, for example, where I dug my heels in so much that I hated it and that it just ruined a lot of things for me. And I promised that I would never dig my heels in that deep on anything ever again.
But it's not the premise of diving deep. It's the sense of like I said, one thing I really fucking respect about you is like, you're like, I'm gonna like the Iron Man.
Yep.
That's something people who run, people who are this type of athlete.
That's their mountain.
They go that's their mountain, right? Like what I'm gonna conquer is the Iron Man.
Yep.
You literally one day like hit me up like, I'm gonna do the Iron Man. I'm like, where did that come from?
Yeah.
Like, you weren't training for anything specific. You were going to the gym. You were doing what you do. Fish likes to go on escapades.
For years, I always said I would never do the Iron Man.
Yeah. And you're like, I'm gonna do the Iron Man, and I'm like, dude, like, you've hit rock bottom. Do you want to talk about it? Like, if you're doing this,
But see, I really did though. So we'll get to that in the story. So back to Marine Corps, we had a family friend. His name was Sean. Dude was like a big brother to me. And then, I mean, we talked every day. We went to Steelers games together, Pens games together, but he was a lifer. I mean, he enlisted right after 9/11, part of MARSOC, 19 years in. Like, he was a gunny. But I mean, he was like a big brother to me, you know, and when I was in, he really mentored my career and stuff. And anyway, he had like 6 combat tours. And we learned in 2021 that Sean had passed. Anyone who knew them knew he had a lot of demons and a lot of problems in life, and he was just fighting to get to that pension. And I don't want to get into too many details because, our relationship.
Yeah, no.
But it was a very not good passing. And I went really low at that point. I stopped going to the gym. There was a lot of, blame going around in our family. I didn't socialize, didn't do nothing.
Yeah, like that. I remember we just like you just disappeared.
Yeah, I lost myself. I lost a lot of who I was. I had no drive and just my outlook on life it died too, and I needed to find my way back, and I was there for probably a year, about a year, 6 to 8 months for sure. But I needed to find my way back. And so to kind of preface the Ironman, back in 2018, Marine buddy of mine, Dan, he was a field MP in the Marine Corps, part of the special reaction team in Quantico. Bad dude. We got in touch with a person from the Semper Fi Fund, which is now the America's Fund, I think. But they're one of the largest charity organizations for the Marine Corps. They help a lot of disabled combat veterans with, vehicles, housing changes, experiences, different things. Anyway, we had worked with them in the past on different events for fundraising and stuff. And I got in touch with them, and they had 2 extra bibs, numbers for the Marine Corps Marathon. And this was in 2018 when I was really into fitness and, weightlifting. And
You were heavy running during that time, or was that after? There's
that,
like a point
that was
in time
2019.
Okay.
2019 is when I did a lot of those Spartan races
Yeah.
and stuff. But this was post Marine Corps Marathon.
Okay.
I was like, I could run a marathon. Like, how hard could it be? Like, you just don't quit. Like, that's it.
Oh.
You just keep going. Like, just don't quit. I was so humbled. Dan and I, very limited. I had never run a half marathon. My first half marathon was at the halfway point of my first full marathon.
Dude, why? What? Anyway, I can't. I fucking can't wrap my mind around your brain.
It's just the mental toughness.
People are like, I want to run a marathon. Okay, I'm going to start with a mile tomorrow.
Yeah.
And next week.
So I ran, I think in my training, I ran like one 8-miler and a 10-mile or something before running the Marine Corps Marathon. 2018, Dan and I ran it, and it was a bloodbath. I mean, we suffered. I mean, I hit a wall so hard. My left leg had locked up at like mile 18, and like I had old ladies passing me, and it was
Some bad folks who do that stuff.
yeah. And don't get me wrong, I finished, but I couldn't walk for like 3 days. Like anyone who's ever run a marathon knows what I'm talking about. If you've never run a marathon,
I have no clue.
the body just at some point says, you're not doing what's in its best interest. I'm taking over controls and you don't get control over your body anymore. And it's a crazy feeling. And Dan ended up stress fracturing his foot. And he couldn't walk for like 3 days. I mean, I remember waking up in the middle of the night and Dan was crawling to the bathroom. Like
Damn.
it was bad. Like we had this idea, we're going to B-dubs after to celebrate. We're going to get some beers and wings. We chugged like 2 full waters, didn't take a sip of our beers or eat any of our food. Like we could not eat, it messed us up. So anyway, after that, I wanted redemption. I mean, and by the way, the Marine Corps Marathon is an incredible event. If you've never been and if you want to run a marathon, I cannot recommend it enough. I think it was like 30,000 runners, 250,000 spectators, and you run through all.
How can you quit?
Yeah, you run through all. You start at Arlington National Cemetery, run up through Georgetown, down through the Potomac Park, and then all through the National Mall, past all the war museums and the state capitol and the White House, and
Did I have freaking goosebumps?
and then you finish at Arlington. So you run around the Pentagon, and then you finish at Arlington Cemetery, where the flag raising of the Iwo Jima statue is, and it's incredible. And then Marines man all the water stations. And they give you, and the medal is an Eagle Globe and Anchor medal, and the Marine will put it over your neck. and it's super cool event. Anyone who's looking to run a marathon, there is no shortage of motivation.
And like that could anyone can sign up for that, correct?
Yes, it sells out quick though, so you have to get in early.
I want to challenge. I get a lot of feedback.
Or you could partner up with a nonprofit like the Semper Fi Fund. I think it was like a $500. If you can raise $500 or something, I think you can get a bib for the race, because the Marine Corps gives a bunch of bibs to that to help fundraise.
I want to challenge someone to do that, because I get a lot of feedback from people. If I want someone to sign up for this race, get a bib and hit me up. I will be.
If you need
insane.
any pointers, I will happily guide you the way. I've done it 3 times now. Plus the Ironman. I learned so much from that experience. But anyway, so I ended up doing it again in 2019 with my family. So my brother and my sister ran it. They had never run a half marathon before.
That must be a fish thing.
But I took over. I was like, listen, I'm going to take over your eating for the week. I'm going to take over your hydration for the week. And then during the race, you're going to eat when I say to eat, and you're going to drink when I say to drink. And we ended up pushing my dad. We, again, teamed up with the Semper Fi Fund. We had one of those disabled marathon chairs. My dad sat in the chair the whole time.
That's that group picture
Yep.
you posted. Okay.
Yep.
It's all coming together. There it is.
And, but anyway, so the 3 of us took turns pushing my dad the 26.2 miles. Super amazing event. We ended up meeting the Commandant of the Marine Corps during the race. He ran up to us and was talking to us for like 5 minutes with his security detail. And super cool event.
That's sick, bro.
He was the first ever active commandant to run the Marine Corps Marathon. Normally they do it after their tenure, but he had like security details that would meet and like take turns running with him.
So you're his security. You're running this thing. You're essentially running legs of this.
Yeah.
Dude, oh man, you couldn't pay me enough.
Yeah. So anyway,
Like, sir, I'll meet you at the end.
So he's a board member of the Semper Fi Fund. So that's why he ran up to us. Okay. We were wearing our Semper Fi Fund gear, and he just wanted to talk to us for a minute. Anyway, so we ran it with my dad again in 2019. Super awesome event. So my dad walked across the starting line with us, and then he got off the chair 20 yards before the finish line and walked across the finish line together. Super amazing event. But my brother and my sister, they ran the whole thing. My sister did it. So mind you, also, my little brother and my little sister are also United States Marines. My sister...
Who's the baby?
Mark.
Okay.
Yeah, Mark. He was a field MP. Did a trip to Jordan and did 8 months in Guantanamo Bay. And, yeah. But anyway, my sister did the Marine Corps Marathon 7 weeks post-labor. She gave birth 7 weeks later, ran the Marine Corps Marathon. That was the year I broke my foot. Remember?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so
and
broke...
You still,
yeah.
He's like, he tells me, I'm not a medical professional. He's like, do you think it's a good idea to run this with a broken foot? My doctor said no.
I broke 4 metatarsals, shattered 2 of them 4 weeks before the race in motocross. My dad was pissed.
So was your doctor.
Yeah, but I mean, listen, he has to, for liability purpose, he has to be pissed.
No, I think he cares about you and your health, and he's like, don't do this. He's like, all right, okay, cool. So I could do it then.
Yeah, he's like, we need to be talking about rods and screws, and you're talking about marathons.
Dude, that is wild.
So we got like a carbon fiber insert in my shoe or whatever. I ended up re-breaking it during the race or whatever, and I used like compression socks and stuff.
Shocker.
But anyway, yeah, so like it was doomed from the get-go. But we did it. We finished. It's super cool.
Yeah, it's amazing. So dope. Dude, I like, and that's the thing, right? Like, you got to go to a certain place to do something like that. That's a huge event, big honors to do, but it's a mindset.
Yeah, we
right?
raised a lot of money for the Semper Fi Fund that year, and I broke my foot 4 weeks out. My dad was pissed.
And you're like, well,
and I'm like, I'm still gonna do it, Dad.
And then me, like, and I think of stuff like that too, and I and it's probably not healthy, but like, I'll put myself in a mindset when I'm too tired and I know I need to go to the gym. I'm like, there's dudes who like don't get to do this anymore.
I know. Did you watch the Marine Corps Marathon? There's people double amputees running it.
Bro, when I ran my Spartan race, there was a dude with no legs.
Yeah.
Doing it. We had gloves on and he was like dragging, and he had a group with him, and I'm like, and I'm fucking sitting here feeling sorry for myself. Like, and
I'm like, I have a broken foot. I'm like, that guy's got no foot.
Yeah.
So
he don't have foot pain then.
Yeah.
He don't understand. He don't got foot pain.
You don't have foot pain.
And That's not an insensitive joke. I have a friend and he said that to me, and I'm repeating it. So I hope he fucking comments on this so I don't look like an asshole.
You're an asshole, but you are.
I'm like, dude, when I broke my heel, I'm like,
Yeah.
dude. He's like, yeah, I don't know nothing about that. I don't get foot pain. I'm like, oh, fuck you. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
But so you guys ran that.
Yeah, so and then I did it again virtually in 2020. So I'd signed up again to do it in 2020. COVID happened. I did it virtually.
How does that work? You have to like run it on your
Yeah, I
own?
have a GPS on my watch and I just run, I did it all in downtown Pittsburgh.
So you did it, but like you're not in that environment that like
Oh, it is a lot harder.
that
There's
motivation.
there's no motivation to pull from. Your hydration is all on you. So you have to carry hydration and nutrition. There's no water
which
stations.
adds.
Yeah, it was a lot harder. My time wasn't great, but hey, did it.
Quote, hey, did it. Make that into a t-shirt.
That's literally if my life was a book, that would be the title of it.
Hey, did it. No,
Hey, did
for
it.
sure, bro. For sure.
But anyway, so I did those, and people were like, all right, what's next? What's next? And I also did the Spartan Ultra, which is the 50K Spartan race. It's like the hardest event
Over
Spartan race.
120
Yeah.
something obstacles.
Yeah, I think it was 170.
Well, still, my point still stands over 120. 170.
But yeah, so I did that Spartan Ultra race. That was another thing I wanted to do. I did that in like 12 and a half
And
hours
what was the
or
reason
something.
for that? Just the.
I'd done
it's
all
another
the
big
other
race?
Spartans. I did the trifecta weekend. I've done the
You ran
multiple
all three in
trifectas.
that weekend?
Yeah,
Dude,
and then
that's crazy.
I did the mountain series. So some of their harder ones on the side of mountains. I did that one. Those ones.
I did Palmerton.
Yeah, I did Palmerton.
Bro,
That
I got
one's-
pulled by medics twice.
Oh yeah, Palmerton. Listen, I've done the Ironman. I've done
What was harder, the
Ultra.
Ironman or Palmerton?
Ironman, but Palmerton is up there.
Damn, I was gonna say, man, I could do the Ironman.
Ironman's harder, but Palmerton is up there.
Bro, I thought a trash can
Palmerton's
was
like
the-
top 3 hardest events
well,
I've
so
done.
that was my first one.
Yeah, that was one top 3 hardest.
I wasn't told there
It's
was
on the
like,
side of a ski resort,
well,
bro.
no one told me the elevation
You're
change
go-
was
yeah.
like insane.
Yeah, you're going up like 2,000 feet or something over 1 mile.
Do you remember? I'm sure all the obstacles are similar, but like you had to have the bucket with the rocks, and
Yeah.
you're like, dude, I literally
Yeah.
reached my hand out and could
Yeah,
touch
you
the
could
hill.
be standing straight up and down, put your arm out, and you can touch the hill.
I was like, I'm fucked. And here's the fucked up part, dude. And then like it comes back to integrity. You had to go up and then down, and
then-
the obstacle ended like
Yep.
10 feet away. There were people just fucking walking over, and
Yeah.
I'm like, why? Like,
I know.
why?
I know.
You paid for this.
Yep.
You're here. Like,
I know.
you're only doing this to yourself.
I know.
And you're so
People are a lot
we-
of people when we did it. There was the sandbags up. You went up,
yeah,
down,
that-
up,
Yeah.
and people were just dropping their sandbags. So Dan and I were like, screw that, and they were running out of sandbags. So many people were dropping them, not bringing them back. So Dan and I were like, screw this. We went and just grabbed a second sandbag. It took us longer.
Oh, to bring it for other people.
Bring it for other people.
That's crazy. You got 2 types of people.
Yeah.
The people who look out for the other ones, and the ones who are
Yeah.
like, it's just about me.
Yeah.
Dude, and I remember thinking to myself,
Yeah,
like,
we
you
signed
paid
up
for
to be
this.
here.
We signed up to be here. Did you get the bracelets that tracked every time?
Yep.
I'm like, you're disqualifying yourself. So like, you're not even gonna give yourself a time.
Yep.
What's the point of doing this? To
Yeah,
tell
you're
your
not going
friends
to
you
hit the
went back and did
markers.
it?
Yep. And but anyway, so I did the ultra. That was another one on my list. I'm like, I've done all the other Spartans. I'm like, this is the hardest one Spartan has. And so I did that, and that was pretty cool. I also wanted it's a belt buckle, super cool. It's a belt buckle with a Spartan logo, and like everyone is Spartan.
Did you put it on a belt?
No, I had to hang it up on my wall.
New boot goofing with the sport and belt buckle.
And so anyway, everyone was always asking me like, all right, what's next? What's next? And I'm like, I don't know. They're like, what about the like triathlons? I'm like, I'd like to do a triathlon. I don't know. They're like, what about Ironman? I'm like, I'm never doing the Ironman. I know how hard a marathon is. And you're telling me I got to do a 2.5 mile swim and a 112 mile bike ride before doing the marathon. I'm not cut from that cloth. I'm not. I'm like, I just can't do it.
Which is interesting because I've never heard you say, like when I said I can't do I won't do the Ironman, you're like, you can.
Like if you ask me, could I climb Mount Everest? No, I can't. Could I probably? Yeah, if I.
See how I know. I see how that changed.
But I dedicating 2 months of my life.
Like, could I
tens
actually
of thousands of dollars? Like, is it worth it to me? No.
That's fair.
Get me in 10
Would you
years,
apply
that
yourself
might
to
change.
it? Would you apply yourself to it now?
Give me 10 years, that might change. But where I'm at right now in my life,
By
I'm
the
not
airing
climbing
of this
Everest.
episode, Fish has climbed Mount Everest.
I do want to climb one of the 7 summits of the world, though. So I don't know if you know what the 7 summits. So 7 continents, the highest point in each
Yeah.
continent.
So you ever watch Free Solo?
Yeah. That's kind of put the idea in my head. But I've been looking at Denali, or no, not Denali, Kilimanjaro in Africa. Met a guy
There's
who
something
did it.
specific about that one. What?
It's not like that. It's in the middle of nowhere. There's no other mountains. It's like,
Oh, of course, pick the hardest one. Makes
Yeah.
sense.
but anyway,
So I'll never do
maybe.
an Ironman.
yeah. So I'll never do an Ironman. Then when Sean passed, I needed to find my way back. I needed direction. I needed something to just get my mind off of it and just work towards. And that's kind of where the Ironman kind of just fell in.
Why was that the direction you needed to go?
I had no idea how I was going to get it done. It was a thing. I had no idea where to start, but I knew it would take me a while to do it, and I knew that it was something, a direction.
Is that a metaphor for what happened with Sean with you? Because like that, you had no direction for that, man. There's no.
No, it was more like a prove I'm still alive. The my heart's still going, that I'm still very much here. Something to wake up and give a direction to my day. Yeah, I said I had no idea how to do it. It was like, I'm going to spend my time researching, planning, creating a plan, executing plan, hitting events, learning from those events.
Which I found very interesting because you think running an Ironman, right? There's so many things that I learned just
Yeah.
being a part of that process.
I
with you.
had never done cycling. I mean, I had done a little bit of swimming, but never like distance swimming.
Well, things from like even like you planned how many hydration packs, salt tablets,
yeah.
like when and where, and like when I come to this changing station, I'm gonna use.
Yeah,
like,
I did sweat
bro.
tests to learn how much sodium I was losing in my sweat per hour.
Speaking of, did you ever meet that college kid?
No.
No, dude, that would have been interesting to see
Yeah.
like how much muscle
Yeah.
breakdown and fatigue. That's a cool study.
Yeah.
But like, so you were doing this, like you were doing all this research.
Yeah.
And then, so then what was because you went all in, you moved to Houston.
Yeah. So
Like you submerged.
So I decided like spring, or no, it was June of 2022. I was like, I'm gonna do the Ironman, and so I bought a bicycle, really like $6,000-$7,000 bicycle,
yeah, no, I was a little
$1,000 wetsuit. I mean, custom fitted running shoes, everything. Like I went all out, and I just started. I'm like, all right, well, I'm gonna start real small, and then I did research on
I went all out. I'm gonna start real small.
Well, and my training and my programs, I wasn't like, I'm going to swim 2.5 miles today. So I did a lot of lake swimming, Lake Edinburgh, which is just clear across is like 780 yards, roughly. The Ironman is like 4,300 yards or something.
Dude, that's like, are you able to like rest?
You can.
Like, how do you rest though?
Like, I guess, are you talking lake swimming or the Ironman?
Like for the Ironman.
Yeah, they have people on like kayaks and paddle boards and stuff. You can go up and grab on. You just can't make any forward progress.
Okay.
So you can get out of
And
the,
you knew all this?
Yeah.
Through your
Yep.
during your trip.
when they go over
training.
in the racing packets and the racers briefs the day before. But anyway, so I started real small, and I spent that entire summer training. Everyone's at barbecues and stuff, and I mean, I'll still remember. I'll remember today I died, like sitting out in the middle of the lake at sunset, all by myself, just floating on my back, looking at sunset, and then going back to the swim. I would do, swim to bike transitions, and then another day I do a bike to run transition, and because running beats you up the most, you need the most recovery time from the run. You could bicycle 100 miles, wake up the next day, and be fine.
What about the swimming part? Like, because that's very exhaustive.
It is, but it doesn't. There's no impact.
I guess yeah. Because running, you're hitting.
Running or swimming is interesting. It's more like a cadence. I literally would have to, you can't really think about anything else other than breathing and your cadence. If you start thinking about other things, you're going to lose track of your breathing, and then you kind of get behind the 8 ball. It's like I used to go 1, 2, 3, 4. And on my fourth, I'd breathe 1, 2, 3, breathe 1, 2, 3, breathe. And I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, breathe 1, 2, 3, breathe.
So you put yourself in like a almost like
Tempo. It's like a tempo and a
yeah.
cadence, and that's all you can think about.
Like, did you lose track of time when you were doing that? Did that help?
You don't really think about anything else. And then during a race, like the only other thing you can think of is like running into people. And that was kind of the frustrating part during Ironman is you have a lot of people who know that you put yourself in your own bracket. So they have like phases.
I remember us talking about
yeah,
that.
like I'm going to finish it within an hour to an hour 15. I'm going to finish it from an hour and 15 to an hour and 30. And you kind of bracket yourself in your start. So everyone's moving at the same pace. You know your pace from training.
Well, that's the thing. If you don't know where you should be,
Well,
you should be in the back.
A lot of people do know. And they know, hey, I'm not going to make the 2-hour cutoff. So I got to start ahead of it because the timer starts when the last swimmer gets in the water. So that person can have the full 2 hours.
So let's say you're slow, the first person can have 5 hours.
Yeah, the first person could have an extra hour just because they started an hour before the last swimmer even got in the water.
Interesting.
But because of that, they create these traffic jams in the water. And so, like, you're swimming, you're hitting your cadence, and then, boom, you're running a slower person. Then you got to go around them. And it's really frustrating. It breaks up your tempo, your cadence, and it's really frustrating.
And that's things you don't think about during training. Or maybe you do, but, like, until you experience
you don't anticipate it,
yeah.
and it really messes things up. But anyway, so I needed to find my way back, and Ironman was that. So I set up training through the summer, and I set up my first Olympic triathlon in September in North Carolina. Did that. Super fun. A lot smaller. And then December, I had my first Ironman 70.3, which is a half Ironman. And I was so nervous for that event. And like it just messed my guts up and everything. And I couldn't get my heart rate under control early on in the swim. But I learned a lot. I learned a lot how the event is structured, how you should set up your gear, and how you should take in nutrition, hydration, and things of that nature. And then, but I knew coming through winter up here, I can't swim, I can't bike, and I can only treadmill run. And I'm not the person who can do 1,000,000 laps in the pool, and I'm not the kind of person who can sit on a bike in my living room for 4 hours, and I can't run on a treadmill for 3 hours.
Yeah, it's mundane after that.
Yeah, it just beats me up. And it's not the same. And so I was like, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it right. So I took off and I moved to Lake Conroe, Texas, which happened to be 45 minutes north of wherever my Ironman race was going to be. And I get down there, have an Airbnb right on the lake, and I have a national park right north of me where I can do all my cycling, and I can run this whole like cul-de-sac for running. It has all dedicated sidewalks. And that's what I did. I went down there and my sole purpose was train, recover, and prep for training the next day. So I was eating healthy. I was swimming and biking, or biking and running. I did the least running because if you run a lot, if I were to do like a 20-mile run, I won't be able to train for 3 days. I'm too sore, and the muscle breakdown was just too much.
It's a lot of impact on your joints and stuff like that, which, like you mentioned earlier, swimming, you don't have that impact on your body.
But just like when training for a marathon, you want to do at least one full length of that before your race. So you don't want your first 100-mile bike ride, 112-mile bike ride to be during your race. So I did 2 of those leading up to the race. And I did 2, actually I did like 4 or 5 4,300-yard swims. And I did 2 marathon runs leading up, so that way I knew. And then I practiced the transitions all the time, because going from the bike to the run is like newborn baby deer legs.
Oh yeah, I can't imagine because
Like,
you're boom, boom,
Yeah,
boom.
and just you're using different muscles, and it's just different.
To me, the most annoying would be the swim to the bike because like now I guess your wetsuit mitigates that.
Yeah,
But
and you got a lot of air, so you dry off quick, and it's not so bad.
a lot of rubbing, but like that's the thing. You were like buttering your suit, not buttering.
Yeah,
but
but in transition, I learned after the first one, hey, I got to put some anti-chafe cream in certain spots, or else I'm gonna have a hard time. And then like even during the full race, I knew I'm like I need to consume this many electrolytes, this much sodium, this many carbs or whatever before I get onto the bike. And at that moment, I see on my watch, all right, it is this time. Every 30 minutes, I need to consume this much salt or sodium and this many milliliters of fluids and this many carbs.
dude, that's crazy. Like it is a science.
Yeah, and because your body keeps about 4 hours worth of glucose in your blood and your organs for physical activity. After that, you're going to hit a wall and you're going to start cramping. And once you start cramping, you're done. There's no coming back. It's going to take days to replenish that. So you need to be proactive, not reactive. And again, all things I learned during my training. But all this helped me get my mind off of, Sean and just my own mortality. And so anyway, did the event, was incredible. I mean, you came down, Chip was there, my dad, Louise, Heather, partially.
Yeah, I still feel bad, dude. She was beat up. Heather,
Thanks for that, Heather.
we forgive you. No, we don't.
I requested off work.
No,
I
she
did. No, you didn't.
No, you didn't.
No, you didn't.
But I want to get like, oh, there's just so much to talk about that because like, it would like we go down there, and we're in your environment, like you're training, and we're hanging out. Chip can't, dude. Chip, dude. I met a brother. I met a brother when I'm down, and that's the crazy thing about networking. Is the crazy thing about when you surround yourself by a certain type of people, like that energy is flocked. And
I know Chip is 101.
dude,
He is.
I met that guy.
I told
Three
you before
times
you met him.
You did, but
I was like, listen,
I get told that a lot.
when you meet Chip, you're like, I'm gonna be cheering. I'm like, you're not gonna be cheering louder than Chip.
So I'm usually the loudest person in any room. I am like, it's always been a thing, and people are like, oh, when you meet so and so, like I'm like, okay, and I'm always the loudest person in the room. You did not disappoint, dude. Chip's
one of
energy,
one.
bro. One, it's so contagious.
Yes.
Two, this dude, I pity the fool who is standing against him because like he's just a fucking unit in his mind and
Yeah.
dude, and this
Stuff that registers on his radar.
yeah, that blew me away. Like I said some shit like, I'm like, yo, it's a little cold, a little hot in here, and he's like, heat? What's heat? That doesn't even register on my radar. I'm like,
Dude,
what? I'm sweating.
he'll just be standing there and he'll go down and just bust out a record for push-ups.
Yeah, I'm like, all right, we doing that? And he's like, pain doesn't
Yeah.
even register on my radar.
Yeah, he would just go out and start hitting the heavy bag in the garage for like 2 hours.
And I use that now, dude. I use that everywhere I go. People look at me, they're like, dude, that's so fucking fire. I'm like, yeah, it's pretty badass, ain't it? I mean, I stole it, but pretty badass, ain't it? But it's such a it's a mindset thing, though.
Yeah.
It's like he will, like he was telling me, he's like, I'll do this workout. Like I'm with these kids being fucking 30-year-olds. Like this dude is competing and training again, like 30-year-olds, like me, my age, calling them kids because he's older. He'll do their workout, and then he was like, yeah, I just hang on a bar until my hands hurt and then my hands fail me.
Yep.
Oh, okay. I mean, that's quite the fucking ending of a workout. You're working all kinds of muscle fibers, your grip strength. You're like, what made you do that? Why not?
Yeah. He'll be like, you put every other 54-year-old on the planet. He's like, I challenge him to the Pepsi challenge. He's like, I'll take him.
And I believe it.
Yeah.
I put anyone, 30, 20, 10.
Yeah.
But he's a phenomenal dude, man.
Yeah.
And like, this is the thing. I met this dude. And he's like, hey, dude, if you ever need anything, my door's always open. I'll cook for you. And that's the thing. When we were down there, he's cooking. He's prepping everything. He's taking care of Mr. Fisher as if he needs taken care of.
He was bummed you didn't come down.
Dude,
on my
don't
birthday.
stop.
He was bummed.
We're not gonna do this on here.
He was really
We're not
bummed.
gonna do this
He
on
had,
here.
He had the second bedroom all prepped.
Stop. I will make it down there.
Because I told him, I'm like, listen, I'm like, Ish is coming back this summer. He's going to do the course. And
I need a tree. Where's my Jeep? I'm gonna go hit a tree.
he's like, I'm like, we're coming back this summer. Ish is going to come do the course. I'm going to come with him.
Dude,
and then I came back and I wish.
Dude, I love that dude, bro. That's a dude. And this is the thing. It's very rare in life that you meet someone and you're just like, I would lay my life for that dude.
He has an instant effect on you.
Instantly. And like Mr. Fisher was so like frustrated with him, but you know it's from love. Like,
oh yeah, he would not let my dad do anything.
Do anything. And like if you know Mr. Fisher, he needs to do like, don't fucking treat him any differently. Like, and obviously Chip, out of respect, is like trying to, and me too. And then your dad would give me a look, and I'm like, got it, like, got it. I'm here. You just let me know if you need something. And then he asked me to do one thing one time when I was down there, and I was like, I'm valued. Yeah. And it was like, hey,
it was funny, yeah, because I asked you to do some stuff, and he was like offended that like I didn't ask him.
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
Chip, you already are doing everything.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, give me like.
I'm like, Chip, you got to help my dad. I'm like, he needs help getting from point A to point B and all of his stuff. He needs, escorted to knowing where to go. I'm like, that's your job. I'm like, Ish can carry this bag or get my bicycle or whatever.
We were like, dude, and there was a game plan.
Yeah.
Dude, and like the coolest thing was just watching you in that element, like we know you've been training. We know the sweat, because we all kept in touch in different ways with you while you were training and stuff. And like, I remember I'm like on a beach, just like chilling, laying back, and I'm on my phone, and you're in Edinburgh Lake. And I'm like, fuck, like this dude's, he's doing it. Like he's doing it. Like, and that's the thing. There was never a time in my mind where I was like, I don't know if he's gonna be able. It was like he said he's gonna do it. Like,
it's funny because I was more nervous for my first Ironman 78.3 than I was for the full Ironman. I was calm as a cucumber for that race.
That's because the 70.3 was a war room. That was your like, I need to iron things out, and this is where I figure it out.
Yeah.
Come the Ironman, you were like,
but there was a lot of things. But for me, in the full Ironman, it was like I had done everything I could do. I can never be more ready than I am right now.
Dude, I remember being there in the morning, right? It's you, me, and Chip. It's like dark. Everyone's lining up. People were like getting
even before
ready.
then, Chip was like, "Do you need me to carry your bag?" He's like, "Watch out! There's a hole there." Or
yeah,
a lip
dude. And then he put this speech on the radio and stuff, and like you're not even there.
Yeah.
And like I know where you're at because we're very close, and I'm thinking to myself like this is only gonna make things worse for him. Like Fish just needs to be. He's in his head. He's in his mind. Like that's where you let him be. And I'm trying to tell Chip this, but like Chip also knows you on a different level, right? So he's like, I want to motivate him, and I'm like, dude, we all know why he's here. The motivation is done.
Yep.
Like he's now like I just pictured in your mind like you ever seen like on like a physics board it just starts changing numbers. Like, I'm like, yeah, he's just calculating everything.
Yeah, it was one of those things. He was playing all those motivational speeches. I'm like, I don't need motivation. I'm like, I need focus.
Yeah, I need like zen, no sound, no nothing. And it was cool because like I'm like
it's almost like sensory overload.
Yeah,
even
I'm
this
watching
summer,
you.
even this fall, actually, I was at a motocross race, and my girlfriend Abby and she had never been, and she was up there like rubbing my shoulders on the starting. I'm like, please stop. I'm like, I'm trying to get focused, and it's like distracting almost. Like I'm not in a relaxation moment.
Well,
I'm
you
like
in turn, like I've noticed when your focus is like you
shut
hone
in.
you shut in, and you're like you're processing everything. Other people, they need that external.
It's like things are slowing down.
Yeah,
and
I'm picturing that, dude. And that was like one of the things. We're in the truck, we're driving. I'm looking in the rear view, and you're just like staring into the back of the seat, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm like getting hopped up, and I'm like trying not to show it because I'm like he needs that space and time, and I'm like this motherfucker, he's gonna fuck this up. Like
for me, I'm like I'm trying to slow my heart rate, stay calm, stay cool, not overthink it, not tense up, and all that other outside noise is like tensing in it. Like that's the opposite.
Yeah. So when I get to that place, it's like serious. Very rare that I get to that. Usually the external stuff I'm cool with, but when I like I'm all honed in, it's like pity the fool. Then we get there, and it's like you can see how everyone's preparing differently. Like there's this one dude doing high jumps and shit. Like, you're about to be swimming for a while. This is his prep. You're just standing there.
Yeah.
Then they're like, everyone get ready. You fucking put a piece of tape on your watch. You say, what was it? I just got goosebumps thinking about it. You were like, all right, Sean, you're doing this with me. And you like put the band back on and you just walk. And I'm like, oh, here it is.
Dude, for a long time, I was nervous. You know, you ever have something that you're dreading? You're like, the day's going to come eventually. Well, that was that day. For months, I'm like, man, why did I do this? Why did I sign up for this? I'm like, but that day, I was just, like, I slept like a baby.
You know? You said your sleep was good. Your hydration was good. Dude, you even told me the time. This is going to be TMI. He's like, my first shit's going to be at this time.
Yep.
Bro, to the minute.
Yeah.
To the minute. I don't know if you forced it out or not. That's not my business. To the minute, he's like, all right, I'll be back. I'm like,
It's training.
Holy dude, he timed his poop. Everything's falling in line.
Yep.
It's about to be a wrap, dude. And like,
You do enough repetitions, you know.
Yeah, and you told us like around this time I'm gonna be passing the bridge in the swim. Like, so if you guys want to see me, that's where I'll be. And this is where I anticipate to be the chain. Bro, not one miss.
Yep.
We went, he's like, we went and got coffee, and they were like, all right, fish is we're approaching fish, and we're tracking you on that app, which we found is not very accurate.
No.
Accurate.
Accurate. You and your double language.
Yeah, we'll go with that. So we start running over, and bro, shit you not. There you go, passing, and we're like, dude, wow, like he is on pace. And then we went to, I forget what else we had to move the cars or something, and then we're like, all right, he's gonna be in transition. We fucking bust our way into the front, and that's what I loved having Chip, dude.
Oh yeah.
I'd like, yo, Chip, we need that spot. Hey, scoot over.
He's like 6'5".
Dude, he's like, excuse me, and everyone's like, oh,
He's like 6'5", 230, and just like,
yeah, and he's like, Ish, I got your spot. I'm like, you gonna say no to him? I don't know who that guy is. Oh, thank you, sir. Like, but then we watch you transition. Like, we didn't miss but the craziest thing, you just did your swim, you did your run. No, you did your bike. You're like, I'm like, dude, he's got to be like, he's been on pace. He hasn't really slowed down. Like, he's got to be hurting right now. Like, now is where he dives in. Your run, bro. Every time you ran past us, you were just like, dude, it's like that the only thing you were doing was a marathon.
That was the one that surprised me, because even the day before I had told you, I'm like, I like hit 18, 20 miles, and I'm like, I'm probably going to hit a wall. And I'm like, I'm going to do like 30 seconds running, 30 seconds walking, 30 seconds running. Remember I told you that?
Yeah.
It's just the wall never came.
What was your pace? Do you remember? Because I have one in my mind, but
like,
I don't want to.
I want to say it was like 9:30 or
it was like 9:37.
Yeah, something like that.
A 9:37 mile pace after.
Yeah, for 26 miles.
All this.
Post 112.
I don't know when you were walking.
I didn't.
Okay, I was about to say.
I said I didn't walk the whole thing.
Like, dude, there were people with common sense. Like, yeah, you're going to walk.
The only times I stopped were like the water stations. So I'd stop because I don't have the ability. I don't know what it is, how other people do it, but I can't run and drink at the same time. Like, it splashes and then like I can't gulp it right. It's like I have to stop, drink it, and go. And then
did that hurt?
That's why it's a 9:30. Like, I was probably running at like an 8 something pace, but you add up all those stops at the water stations. That's where you're gonna.
So in the midst of all this, I want to skydive.
So
we just went about the how gruesome this training and preparation, mentally, physically, financially. I want to skydive.
All right, so Sean, being, in MARSOC and stuff, he had his jump wings. And he would always flaunt. I mean, the Marine Corps is a big dick measuring contest. He would always flaunt his jump wings.
As he should.
Yeah, and absolutely.
Pretty sweet.
And so after he passed, I'm like, I'm going to get my skydiving. I had gone skydiving before he passed. It was a tandem, I did it in North Carolina. But after he passed, I'm like, I'm going to get my skydiving license. I'm like, I'm going to get, essentially jump wings. And when I was setting all my stuff up for Texas, and mind you, I picked Ironman Texas because it had the flattest bike. Out of all the Ironmans, it has one of the flattest elevation for bikes. which sucked because it doesn't account for wind. But anyway,
Yeah, because you hit a heavy wind.
the headwind for 50 miles of that was horrible.
Because we saw your. It was almost like you made up for it in the end. Because,
Yeah, because I was averaging like 13 miles an hour in headwind, and on the way back was averaging like 25 with the tailwind. Like it was immediate. Like when you hit the turnaround, it was immediate.
Was it like a
notice.
release?
Yeah, it was immediate notice. But anyway, so that's why I picked Texas. Well, just so happens in Houston has one of the biggest, best, most renowned skydive facilities in the country. And
Spaceland.
yeah, Spaceland. Shout out Spaceland Houston.
For sure.
Shout out Louis, my instructor.
I forgot who my tandem.
Yeah.
Who was it? He was a cool ass dude, bro.
Yeah.
I think I follow him on Instagram.
Yeah.
If you see this, shout out.
Louis and Happy, or no, not Happy.
I had to pay the fat tax, bro,
Yeah.
because I was 2 pounds
Yeah.
overweight.
Flip and all them guys out at Spaceland. You guys are rad. But anyway, so yeah, I'm like, I could knock out 2 stones with 1 bird right here. It's the Marine way.
That's why I laugh, because like anyone watching, like, oh, he's dumb, but it's like, no, it's on character for.
They
for
have
fish.
a program. It's the skydive and a week package. You pay this fee and you get all your jumps, all your gear rentals, your courses, your license fees, everything.
Don't you get lodging too? You can.
Yeah, you can get lodging as well.
As well. That's sweet.
Yeah. So mind you, this is one of the biggest places in the country. They got multiple planes going at all times.
Big birds too.
Yeah, big hangar, and I mean, yeah, people with tens of thousands of jumps. I mean, it's incredible place. Like my instructor Louis was from France. He came to the U.S.
J'ai pas
here.
français un peu isoire.
He came here. Je m'appelle Michael.
He came here just to
Comment t'appelles-tu?
Je m'appelle Ismaël.
Yeah.
Oh, that rhymes.
Et
That's
toi?
good.
Et toi?
Le chat sur la table. Cats on the table. All right. So he comes just to skydive.
Yeah, he came to the U.S. just to skydive. He did a lot of time in the wind tunnels, and that's where he really got his footing.
Which is so sweet, dude, because you're like, you're going to come skydiving when you come down here. And I'm like, this dude's always pushing me into some shit. That's like cool, though.
Yeah.
Like what he pushes me to is like cool stuff, you know? And I'm like down there. Mind you, the confidence wall in basic, like I almost blacked out. Like I don't do heights.
Yeah.
I'm not scared of heights. No, I'm scared of heights. But I don't let fear like stop me. So I
Listen,
still do what I do.
I always tell everyone I meet, I'm like, you gotta skydive. They're like, I can't. Like I'm like, listen, skydiving is not just it's skydiving. It is a metaphor. I'm like, skydiving is a metaphor in the aspect of letting go.
Yes, dude. And that
I say you physically let go of the plane, but you let go of control. I'm like, you fall into faith that everything is going to be okay. Everything is going to work out. It goes against every natural fiber in your body that says, don't do this. It is a defiance to that. You're in a plane, the door just opened up. You've never had that before. You're sitting at the edge.
I'm sweating, bro. Because I'm reliving that experience.
And it's let go.
So here's my experience with this. We hit the tunnels, right? It's fucking tough. Now, mind you, I know my first time is not going to be this because I'm going to be strapped.
But again, it goes again with the tunnels. It goes there against everything you know. The only other feeling that you have in comparison is swimming, but it is different. Your reactions are going to give you a different reaction.
Your actions are going to give you a different
your actions
reaction.
are going to give you a different
Two
reaction.
languages, Poppy.
Yeah.
But that's
Are
so
going to
true.
give a different reaction than swimming does.
And it's minuscule, right? Like
Yeah,
your
very
small
minuscule.
action can be a huge reaction.
Yep.
So you need to stay calm under
If
pressure.
swimming, if I want to go that way, I push with my arm. If you do that in skydiving, you're going to roll or go backwards or the tunnel. You have something to push against versus in water. Versus in the air, you're trying to grab air and push the air away to do things. The air is the consistent. You're the inconsistent.
That's a good way to put it.
And your minuscule effects with where your legs are pushing or pulling, your arms extended, retracted, your head and your spine and your arch and how you're grabbing the air and the air is flowing around you. It's all going to big details on whether you go up, down, left, right, spin, stability. It's all in the little details. But with skydiving, dude, it's just faith, man. Like, and if you just got to stay calm, especially early on in the program, it's natural to like start flailing and trying to find that stability. But if you just arch and just hold it, it all levels out. And it's faith that your parachute's gonna work, everything's gonna work, everything's gonna be fine.
Bro, it's crazy. Like, I go there and they're like, "Hey, you're gonna watch this class, this video." Video kind of tells you like quick rundown of what
they have to do that video, but that video hurts. They're the progression of the sport,
dude. I'm like, what the? And the whole time I'm thinking like, what the fuck is Fish doing to me?
They go over, for the record, everyone. They go over everything that can and might go wrong in the jump, and it's a lot of things.
Mind you, I never skydived before. I have a interesting relationship with heights, and they're like, the first thing they say is, "You're going to be jumping 14,000 feet." I'm like,
60 seconds of uninterrupted free fall.
Dude, I'm like, oh, but I'm strapped to someone. Mm-hmm. Like, he don't want to die, so he's not going to let me die because we're hooked. And we're going over all the pre-flight stuff, and then, we're going up there, and the crazy thing, I'm in this plane, and I'm not hooked on, and I'm looking, we're going up, and I'm just thinking, I'm at peace, bro. Yeah. I'm like, dude, this is nice.
You're like, I'm about to have taken off in more planes than I have landed in.
Yeah, I hold that now. 3 plus 3, 4, 3.
Yeah, I've taken off in 3 more planes than I've landed in.
Dude, it's crazy, right? And then this door opens, and you just see bodies.
So chill, just
yeah. And I'm the last one, and he hooks me, and he's like, "Hey, you ready for this?" And I'm like, "Fuck yeah!" Like,
just let go.
Yeah. Well, and this is where the metaphor comes into play, because there's still time to bail. They tell you, if you don't want to go,
hey, Luis, we know there's time to bail. Anyway, continue.
You bailed at the last moment. This is where the metaphor comes in about letting go.
I would have pushed him.
Dude, I couldn't be an instructor. I'd be yanked. I'd be like, "Did you say go or no?" "Oh, go." Boom. Yeah, you could scream on the way down.
You said, "I don't want to go." I thought you said Geronimo.
Geronimo. Boom. So like they walk you to the edge, boom, and then he holds your shoulder and he's like, "Hey, do you want to go?" And right here, it's very easy. Very easy. It's scary. You're staring out of this plane. It's loud. Wind's fucking hitting you. You see almost like the curvature of the earth. You see everything.
The ground's not even comprehensible.
No, like the fear of heights is gone because you're so high that it's just like it looks fake.
Incomprehensible.
It looks fake.
Yeah.
I'm like this. I'm literally I'm saying I'm like I'm in a simulation. Like this. I'm gonna fall and I'm gonna hit a mat. This is not real. And I look at him. And he's like, "All right, when we jump, you stare at the plane. Do you want to go?" I'm like, "Let's go." But it's real easy to say no.
Yeah. Or
like, fuck, this is scary. No,
you're safe.
Safe.
For insurance and liability purposes, they have to do that.
And it's safe. It's safe. You say no, boom. They don't like, "Are you sure?" Like we can.
But I will tell you, it is scarier riding the plane down.
Especially with that pilot. I've heard.
Those planes are not built to pass heavy inspections, mind you.
What he means
they are sport planes. They are taped together in some spots.
It's not your commercial liner for comfort.
Yeah.
It's like it's a rough ride.
Yeah.
So I've heard.
This panel falls off. Let's just drill it back on there real quick.
Yeah. The panel's on.
Yeah.
So I say go.
And that pilot, they just go into like basically straight down.
Oh yeah, because they have to like idle. Some do like idle the plane.
Yeah, it goes in the idle when they basically. There's been times, a lot of times, When the pilot's on the ground before I am, because I pull my parachute and I'm doing my descent or whatever, and they're on the ground already.
Yeah, they don't mess around.
Yeah. So like,
So jump.
yeah, going down in the plane, in my experience, is scarier than jumping.
And this was the craziest. Like, and I tell people, I try to push people to skydive. Even try it once. Like, you don't have to be Mike Fish and
Yeah.
get your B license already, A then B. But like, just try it. Even if it's a tandem. Like, I jumped out that plane and it was like 2 seconds of chaos. I'm turning. You're literally, now you're comprehending it. Nothing matters anymore because the plane that was going to keep you safe is gone.
Can't go back.
Can't go back. You can't be like, actually, just kidding. Like, you have committed to something and that is it.
Everything's out of your control from
And
there.
then you get stabilized and you're just falling and you see.
You don't even feel like you're falling.
No, you're just there looking at everything.
It's like floating without water.
The earth. And I'm telling you, I fell forever. I'm looking. I had I hired like a camera. What was it?
The
production-
video.
Yeah, videography team.
Videographer.
He's in front of me. He's filming me. He's like, yo, dude. And I'm like, yeah. And we're like having conversations.
Yeah.
I'm talking with my instructor. We're falling. Like, I'm like, dude, this is the best feeling in the world.
And it gets even better when you can solo jump and just do flips and rolls and link up with friends and stuff. And there's like very limited on restrictions.
Yeah, dude. Like, it's crazy. And then, boom, you pull, and then this is where bliss happens.
It's very quiet.
So quiet. People think you're up there and like, dude, we're talking like this. We're like,
Yeah.
He's like, hey, yeah, how was that? I'm like, dude, that was wild. He's like, yeah, it's pretty crazy, huh?
He's like, watch this.
yeah. Well, he's like, yeah. Like, you want to, he's like, as he's talking, hold on to this. He's like, when I tell you to, just pull it all the way down. And I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, this is what we talked about, like the turns and stuff. I'm like, okay. He's like, go ahead, pull it. And I pull it. He's like, no, pull it. And I pull it. And
you feel the G's.
Roller coaster. You're just.
It's like the most intense roller coaster you've ever been on, but you're steering it.
Yeah. Dude, and I'm like, gonna let it go. And he's like holding it. I'm like, oh my God. And you're looking down at the ground. You're just spiraling down.
Yeah, there's been times that I've pulled so hard that like, I'm like, oh, I'm getting lightheaded. Gotta let go before I pass out.
Yeah, with like those pilots with the jets. Like, so then I let it go and then you're just back to peace.
Yeah.
Bro, it's crazy.
And then you just land like a butterfly with sore feet.
Speaking of sore feet, I ended up breaking my heel because I won't talk about the location or anything, but again,
Listen,
a fish escapade.
Listen, I put 50% of that on you and 50% on them.
Please tell me how that was on me.
Because even though you didn't have a radio, we go over the stuff on the ground in the event that the radio doesn't work.
It was my second time going alone.
That's fine. 50%'s on you. That's why I'm not putting 100% on you.
I say 30% goes on me because
50-50.
I'm a baby deer at this point.
50-50.
So
We go over it on the ground.
This is what we're gonna do. I learned you can do like a poll on these episodes. We're gonna do a poll. I'm gonna tell a story real quick. Another fish escapade. We go to skydive, and I had already done my AFI, no AFF, my AFF class,
ground school.
ground school. So like now I can jump alone essentially, but it's like a static, essentially like a static jump where you jump and the instructor, your coach
There's no free fall.
Yeah, no free fall. He has your parachute. You jump, he lets it go, and it opens within a couple seconds.
The purpose of this jump is to prove that you can land a canopy.
Yeah, which I've proven I cannot. Although I did stick the landing, and this is where we're
still
going.
here?
Yeah. Well, I guess I
You
am.
did a jump after this one too.
I didn't know it was broken. I
Yeah.
thought it was like hurt. So I did jump after. This is that Brazilians. So they give you the spiel. He's like, hey, you're going to have a radio. Like when you jump, do your checks, and then we'll give you a little bit, and then we'll talk to you to kind of guide you.
Wait. Because if you don't tell the whole story, the polls are going to be affected. We not only did we do that, we went over to the map and said, you're going to be here till this many feet, and then you're going to do a left-handed pattern at this, and you're going to turn at this, and then come into your final at this altitude.
Okay.
We did go over this before the jump.
All right, I'm gonna go in depth then, because it's my podcast and I can do what I want to. So you do. They tell you there's this map, mind you. I'm in a location I've never been before, and you think a map
Map of the drop
It's
zone.
like GPS. No, it's a map of the drop zone. So it's trees, little white square, a landing zone, like a
tarmac.
a tarmac. But mind you, we're also near an airport, so there's also other tarmacs. And they tell you this, and like, yeah, if they can be confusing. I was told that it can be confusing, but look for this little white building. And if you hear nothing on the radio, look for a big arrow. Keep that in mind. If you don't hear my voice, look for an arrow. Mind you, I am deathly fucking afraid because I'm jumping out of an airplane by myself. So we get up there, and I'm the biggest dude.
I was right
so,
behind you.
Yeah. Yeah. You can save me. So we get in this airplane. I'm bypassing all this stuff, but we get in this airplane, and I'm the last one to load because I'm the first one to jump because I am
The inexperience. You're jumping lower than us.
yeah, I'm jumping lower than everyone.
So you're out of the way before we jump.
Yes. So I am the pilot is and I'm 232 at this point, pretty broad-shouldered in this very small plane. And while we're loading, he's like, "Hey, don't touch this red thing because that's the fuel, and you don't want to hit that." And I'm like, "Well, you really have my back on it though. Like, I'm leaning against it." And the pilot's like, "Oh, I'll have my hand there." Like I could, if I wanted to, and this is my dark thoughts coming out, I could literally grab the steering console of the plane and just have my way with it. That's how close I am to the pilot. His seat is next to me. So we're in there and we're planes climbing, and you hear this little plane going, and it's like brrr. You hear everything, you see everything, and we're taking off. And we missed the trees. And I'm up there, and he's like, "Okay, like we're gonna do your checks. When I tell you to turn around, you're gonna feel for that. I have your parachute. It's kind of like a safety thing, so you are comfortable in your mind that he has your parachute out, and you're not jumping into the ground." So we're going up. He has my parachute out. This door opens, and mind you, when this door opens, the air is hitting you. Now it's real. You have this plane full of people behind you that can't jump until you jump. So like there's this pressure of like you can't quit. You have to jump. And I am deathly afraid because before this they advise you like, "Hey, you're going to stick with one foot out and then the other foot. You're going to grab the wing and you have to climb out into this wing, hold on to this wing, look at him and let go." So I'm like like my mind is like foggy. I'm like thinking of in steps of like, okay, left leg, then left hand, right hand.
Yeah, it takes a while for that.
It's
cognitive thought.
So the cognitive thought is gone because I'm like in survival mode.
Yeah.
And there's this pressure. I'm like, if I don't jump, nobody on this plane can
Yeah,
jump.
no one behind you can.
Like, so they have to land this plane with everyone here, and then people are gonna be pissed. So I'm scared, but I don't let fear define me. So I'm like, this is something I got to do. I get out there, I look at him, and then he's like, when I tell you go, just let go and do your body arch. So he tells me go, and
that part was good.
yeah. Oh,
I watched that part.
Passed
That was good.
Boom, and I'm falling, and then boom, parachute comes up. I'm like, I look up. What they tell you? If it's there, it's square. It's there.
Yep.
So
Square,
I'm like,
stable, and steerable.
I'm like, okay, good. Boom. I do my checks. Boom, boom, boom. I'm like, okay, we're here. All right, my toggles are good. My brakes are loose. I'm like, all right, I'm good. All right, I did my toggles. I'm good. Where's this voice I'm supposed to be hearing? No voice. So I'm like, okay, there's a plan for this. I need to find this white building.
Listen, even when you go through the course later, always you should immediately look down and find the drop zone. Before you do, after your control checks.
Yeah, I learned that the hard way.
Yeah. You want to look around to make sure there's no one near you that you're going to run into, and then immediately look down and find your drop zone.
Yeah, I learned that after, obviously the hard way. So time has passed where I'm being pushed away from the drop zone on my part because I didn't do what I was supposed to do. I will take ownership. I'm just fucking around. But at the end of the day,
It's at 50-50.
50-50. It was 50-50. So I'm looking. I'm like, okay, wait, no voice. I need to look for an arrow. Before I find the arrow, I need to find this building. So I'm looking for the building, and the building is far.
And not only that, the building is like shaded by some big trees.
Yeah, so I finally see, I'm like, I can't find the building. I need to find the tarmac.
I'm an experienced jumper, and that one is still hard. I actually use the Grove City outlets. That's my reference.
Okay.
I look for, because it's big. I mean, that shopping center is big, you know. So I'm like, all right, there's a big bunch of buildings, and I just reference from there.
Yeah, so he told me after, and he told me about the sun thing after. So I don't know any of the tips I'm supposed to be using, but I don't find this drop zone. I'm looking, I can't find the arrow. So I'm like, fuck, I'm way out of position. Now my cognitive thought is coming because I'm like in survival mode. I'm like, I need to be this. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. Find the tree line, hit the tree line, because then I have to hit my crosswind. I'm looking at my altimeter. I'm like, okay, now.
For those of you who don't know, you want to land upwind.
Yes.
Because the wind will push against you, your canopy will grab more and it'll slow you down, and you'll land nice and soft.
You want to land upwind. Keep that in mind.
All right, continue.
There's a lot of variables that went wrong here for me. So I am trying to get to where I'm supposed to be. Anyway, the voice finally comes after I put myself in the trajectory to head back to the landing zone. However, all my measurements are completely off now. So he's like basically trying to salvage me to come back.
Yeah, every second you're losing altitude.
Yeah, so I'm dropping altitude. The wind is pushing me now, and he's like, all right, this is what we're gonna do, boom, boom, boom. He's like, try to get to the fence line, I know I'm not getting to the fence line.
Yeah, beyond a certain point, you got to start looking for alternative landing areas.
Which I'm like,
no trees, open space, no hills or.
The only spot that was for me was the tarmac.
Yep. Cement tarmac.
Like cement tarmac. And I know that's not the best position, but I'm like, it's either that or I end up in a tree or a fence. It's like, this is the only position I have for me, and I know this right now. So in my
honestly,
mind,
you probably could have made it on the side, but you have very limited experience under canopy.
That's not
to
what
get you to make that little turn and that dive. Like that would have been dangerous.
That would have been worse.
Yeah,
because they literally told me if under this amount, under this,
don't turn.
So I'm like, that's gone for me. This is my second jump, mind you. My first jump, I didn't land at another place I was at. I just hit the ground. So I'm like, I can't do that on a tarmac. It is going to hurt. So I'm dropping, and I realize it, and he's like. Basically, he just yells, flare, flare, flare. And I'm like, this is where my life comes to. Like, if he's yelling for you to flare right now, this is where you're landing. I'm on the tarmac. So I fucking flare with every ounce of muscle in my body. And the canopy, but mind you, I'm not landing against the wind.
Yeah, you're landing with
I'm landing with the wind. So I'm coming in hot.
Fast.
I'm also 230 something pounds at this point. Also, the canopy they put me on was a smaller canopy than I was on in my previous jump.
But you should have been on that canopy that you did. The first one, they put you on too big of a canopy.
They did.
Which is what hurt your landing.
Yeah, so they did. I will caveat that. But my previous experience, I'm already like on a wrong, in my mind, I'm on the wrong canopy. So all this stuff is playing a factor. Long story short, I stick the landing hard.
At a price.
And I'm like, I hit it. I'm like running it
out.
I'm running it out, and I fucking manage it. My canopy comes down. I'm like, okay. It's like, and my feet are on fire. And
Yeah,
I
you ever
down,
jumped off like a high thing and then land and your feet sting?
That was it times 100.
Yeah.
And I look at my shoe. My I was wearing Vans,
brand new
Vans, blown out, split open.
Yeah, split them right open.
And I'm like, I'm like limping. I can't walk. I'm like, fuck. Like, but I landed it.
Isn't it sad that you've jumped 3 times and the only landing you have was a broken heel?
Yeah, like talk about salty to the sport.
Yeah.
So I go to fish. I'm like, dude, he's like, dude, you blew open your shoe. I've never seen that. And I'm like, well, my foot hurts. Well,
I still wish you would have contacted Vans and been like, hey, skydiving blew out this shoe.
yeah,
Can
not
I get a new
skydive
one?
approved. I should have. I wrote him on Instagram. They never opened it.
Yeah.
So then, in typical fish fashion, I'm like, dude, my fucking feet are burning. He's like, yeah, I mean, you landed on the tarmac, but like, that's it. Like, that's why.
Listen,
He's like, let's go up again.
that was best worst case scenario.
Oh, for sure. I could land it on my face.
You could have landed in trees, in the fence. You could have, honestly, a lot of other people landing downwind on cement, you're breaking your tib, fib, your femur. A lot of, like, you're getting messed up.
I was messed
did
up.
the prettiest worst case scenario.
You think I'm pretty?
Well, I mean,
Oh,
we can't talk about that.
so sorry. Yeah, sorry.
Abby's listening.
So, yeah, so I'm like, dude, my fucking, like, my feet are on fire. He's like, dude, like, let's go again. And I'm like, okay.
You drove up there.
Yeah, I was like,
you
okay.
drove up there. It was a sunny day.
So I'm like, oh, fuck, I don't know if I
We'll go
want
up
to
to
go
do
again.
one
Like that
jump.
was a miserable experience. Well, the instructor comes out. He goes, "Hey man, like we apologize. Like we didn't know you were on the plane. We didn't know you jumped out of the plane.
Yep.
So when we found out we had a student in the air, we're like salvaging to find you, and you were so far gone."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "You forgot about me."
I said 50-50.
I said, "You forgot about me."
The only reason I would give you 100 is because they did mess up on their part, but you should always
There were checks and
anticipate-
balances.
You should
that
always
yeah.
anticipate.
The worst thing happening. So yeah, so I'm like, okay, so that experience was a bad experience because of this happened. It's not gonna happen again because they're aware. Fuck it, let's go again, bro. And everything went smoothly. And I'm coming to land.
You had a broken foot though.
I had a broken foot, you know,
little,
but
little tender on the feet
I'm in the landing
pattern.
pattern. Everything's fucking nice. I have this nice big piece of grass. I'm landing up, went boom. I flare. I land with my foot, and it just crumbles under me. I'm smack it again, but I'm like, cool. Like
I'm on the ground.
I'm on the ground. Like I didn't want to PLF. I wanted to land it. I fucking hit it, and it hurt. And I just hit. But I was like, oh, cool. Like this is best case scenario. Later find out I broke my heel.
Yeah.
So that's my story.
For now.
For now, go
You still
skydiving.
gotta go.
It's
Still
still,
got
awesome.
to go to the course.
I'll do that, you know, because
I'm waiting, dude. Like I need a jump buddy. I'm waiting on you.
I'm gonna get there. I promise you. I promise you. This podcast is keeping me, but not an excuse. I'm gonna happen. What led you to launch Valor Labs?
All right.
Which I appreciate you bringing me on.
Absolutely.
By the way,
2018, I was big into the strength training, weightlifting. Anyone who knows me, even in my Marine Corps days, I was scrawny. Like I was a soaking wet 135 pounds graduating high school. And
same. Believe it or not, I was 140 pounds.
yeah, boot camp, I was 135. That's the only reason I remember that. Because when you do the pugil sticks, they put you in weight classes.
Dude, those
Yeah.
things, I love watching those.
Yeah. And
Scent.
but anyway, so I got really into weightlifting, strength training, and I packed on muscle. I mean, I was like almost 200 pounds at my heaviest in 2017, 2018. And yeah, I was just like being a scrawny dude and successfully putting on mass. I, one, wanted to help other scrawny dudes put on mass. And then two, I saw there wasn't like a brand that I really identified with for fitness supplements and strength training. And I wanted to create a community of like people who had similar aspirations and give them something to identify with. And you know, product aside, like I still feel that way, you know, of bringing like people. Because I always like, you know, for example, when you started doing jiu-jitsu for the first time, being the new guy, the guy on the outside, coming in and trying to, you know, join this community of people trying to do the same thing. It's an awkward transition. But
Yeah.
you look at, you know, other police officers or other military and people that you already somewhat identify with, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Not unconsequently, but so you already have to identify.
You asking me for vocabulary is the last thing you should be doing. But I understand what you're
Yeah,
saying.
you already identify with them.
You're connected.
Accidentally.
Yeah, you inherently have a...
they're inherently. That's the
Damn! Ish with the vocab
word.
say.
You already inherently identify with them. I could talk to a Marine I've never met about a million different things.
That's facts. I know what you mean.
You know, and you know, as a cop, you can talk to other cops that you've never met about a million different things. You know, and to create a community of like people, to have like aspirations, like goals and directions in life. You know, and people that can hold you accountable, people that can take their knowledge and you know, impact you and help you. And that's, you know, what Valor Labs was. And then, you know, meeting you, a cop, military, I'm like, it's in the wheelhouse.
Mind you, I was just supposed to do graphic design for him. And like, I've always wanted to start a supplement company, and I just never got around to it. It was like I had a lot going on, and then here comes this dude, and I'm like, explains the concept and everything. I'm like, fuck, I can buy into this, man.
Yeah.
Like I can buy into this.
And
So I'm like,
that's who you want around you, though. And that was, bringing you on at Valor was you want people that buy in. You want people that can see what you see. You don't want people who are like, how can I make a quick buck? You don't want the people who are like, oh, I want to ride this wave and, see I can cash out.
yeah. And
You are the kind of person that's like, I don't care if I make $1 off of this. It's something I'm passionate about. It's something I can see in the future myself
appreciate that.
and invested in through the good times, the bad times.
we had our bad times.
During those years, everyone did. So
yeah.
it's hard
fuck
to
COVID.
it's hard. But we learned a lot. And I want to change the experience for the world. And that's why we still have it. It's still it's dormant, but haven't.
Here's when people ask me, and here's the thing. I don't want to boost us up, but we were doing our thing, man.
Yeah.
We made some connections. We had like we met Charlie. Like we didn't meet him in person, but Kingery, the dude from Live, like he's no longer a cop. He's making rap music now. But shout out to him. He's doing his thing.
Yeah.
But we got people, big names that looked at us and yeah, we're about that. Like we would be honored to be a part of this. We're doing our thing. We teamed up with Mission 22.
Yep.
Till this day, I get messages from people.
Still. Yeah,
And they're like, hey man, when are you guys like, not the taunt, we had one of the best tasting proteins that I've ever had in my life.
The one that I always get is the pre-workout. People tell me all the time, I have yet to get a pre-workout that hits like yours.
I agree. I still use it.
I get it all the time.
I still use it.
I still get messages. People are like, dude, can you tell me at least a place I can get one like it?
My basement, because there ain't no other place. And that's not a brag, but like me and Fish mostly for the formulation. This dude had me kind of like frustrated at one point but like now, hindsight's 2020, right? I knew what you were doing now. Like I can see what you were doing. Like he'd be like, this taste is off. And I'd be like, fuck the taste, dude. The formula's there. It's hitting, it's spiking, it's good. The taste is off. And I'm like, bro, like we're in the red now trying to get this going. But Mike's plan for it, like he wanted to, like when he meant well-rounded, no edges, everything had to be.
You can't.
And I get that now, because you see the companies where they'll half-ass this part.
The average user, you need to.
We weren't going after the average, and that's what I learned. And I'm like, dude, you know what? Like, whatever. I bought into this a long time. Let's go. So we were hitting it. Finally, this formula releases, and we like give it to our friends. And like, hey, let us know what you think. I'm telling you, it was like instant feedback.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what I like about pre-workout. You get instant feedback. With protein, it tastes good.
Yep.
But you have to run it for a while before you're like, I'm not having any GI issues. I feel more energetic. I'm looking at your formula list. There's no fillers. There's no so that's like a long-term, what am I trying to say? Feedback, the feedback. You're not going to hear that back for a while. Pre-workout, you take it, 20, 30 minutes. You're like, dude.
Did that have an impact on my workout today?
Yeah.
That's your feedback.
Yeah, it's like, oh, dude, instantly I felt like, and guess what? People are big, some people are big haters on beta alanine. Dude, all we heard was, dude, I have that itchy, but it's like, I am focused.
Yeah.
That focus completely rendered the itch useless.
Focused energy.
Yeah. And so I'm hearing, we had this little data set going on, and I'm like, I'm going to be the true test of this because I'm the hardest critic. Bro, I ran that stuff as if it's like fucking gear or something. Pre-workout. I took that pre-workout and I'm like, fuck.
I know. I remember the first time I'm like, I'm going to do 2 scoops. And I told you, I'm like, don't do it. Don't do it.
Yeah, so I didn't even try.
Up.
Yeah, because I didn't. He tried it first. And
I was like, don't do it. It'll mess you up.
So I was like, all right, I'll 1 scoop it. I'll diagnose it exactly how it's supposed to be. Dude, I was in the gym and it was shoulder day. I was like, I'm going to use it on my favorite training day, which is shoulders. I'm going to make sure I have a good night's sleep. Like all the factors that, so like the only thing I can pin it on is this pre-workout. Bro, phenomenal.
Yeah.
So your life is full of resilient stories, you know, like the Iron Man, you went through a lot of stuff and you had to push through a lot of things. With skydiving, there's a lot of barriers of entry and stuff like that. Push through it. Like, how do you handle a setback? Like, how does Fish deal with, like, do I continue this? For example, motocross, you hit a setback, and like, is that a failure in motocross? Yes or no? No. I will say no. My answer for you, because people take success as wins, and people take failures as losses or quits. And it's like, if that's how you handle things in life, you're not gonna get very far, because your mindset.
I meet a lot of people that always tell me they love my attitude towards things, whether it's through sports or competitive things like that, like skydiving, or even just like at work. People are like, "Oh, today was a horrible day at work." I'm like, "Yeah, it sucked, but whatever." And they're like, "How do you just not let it beat you up?" And I'm like, "I don't hold on to things." So whether it's a failure or a setback, I don't hold on to it. Like, Sean dying was a horrible thing, but it gifted me something. It gifted me my own mortality. I know I'm gonna die. We're all gonna die. It is all of our fates. Every person you know is going to. Your presence in this world will not be remembered in 200 years. It's not. And
For the majority of us, that's
even Tom Brady, 500 years from now, no one's gonna know who Tom Brady was. You know, George Washington. Again, these people, like, history will at some point forget everyone.
History writes off everyone.
Everyone. So I learned in that the world is an awesome place, dude, with incredible people and incredible things to do. I don't hold on to anything. I appreciate every day for what it is, another day, you know, and if it's a bad day, my bad days are still a lot better than some other people's bad days.
Dude, it's crazy you mentioned that, because that, like, when I got into that mindset, I was able to start a lot of healing and let go a lot of things that I was like thinking I could fix, when in reality it was like, dude, you're poisoning yourself by holding on to this.
Dude, I do so much. So I have motocross friends, and I have jiu-jitsu and MMA friends. I have, by the way, I also did a couple years of jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, I was going to get into
jiu-jitsu
that.
and MMA and Muay Thai.
He says did as if he's going to stop.
Maybe if I get down to Stout. Maybe if I can move down to Pittsburgh and get down to Stout.
Come to Stout. We'll welcome you with open doors, always. Everyone's welcome.
You mean?
But you were getting trashed.
Say you welcome me with rear naked chokes
you're
and heel
getting
hooks.
Dude, I remember when I first started doing jiu-jitsu.
Welcome me with heel hooks.
I struggled with
open
fish.
guard.
Yeah.
Come on.
Come on. I'm going to do the butt scoot on you. And I'm 230. I shouldn't be doing
that.
But
I have MMA friends, jiu-jitsu friends. I have motocross friends. I have snowboarding friends. I have skydiving friends. Like, I do a lot of things. Now, these friends, they don't necessarily cross over, you know? And, like, so my motocross friends haven't met my jiu-jitsu friends. But they're my friends nonetheless, you know? And like, one weekend I'll do motocross. Next weekend, I'll go skydiving. Next weekend, I'll do jiu-jitsu. You know, I don't dig my heels in to where I burn myself out and I stop having fun, you know? But it doesn't make those people not my friends. So, like, a lot of your other guests, I noticed, it's like, I love jiu-jitsu. I love fighting. I do it every day. And I can appreciate that. I used to be that. But I'm not that person anymore, because I learn I'm going to die. And I have gotten to the top of, you know, like, moto. And I realized that it wasn't all it was made out to be, you know? And then after that, you lose identity. You know, a lot of veterans get that when they get out of the service. You lose identity and purpose. And so I fear for some of those people you have that are like, oh, I'm really trying to, all right, say you hit all your goals.
What's next?
What's next? What is your identity in this world? Look at, like, Conor McGregor. What does he do now? Like, I get it, you're a movie star. Yeah, you're a movie star in this, that, and the other. But it's like, after you have your belts, then where do you go? Like, what is your purpose? Like, I don't want my entire identity to be wrapped up into one thing. I want people to look at me and be like, that dude went out and just lived every day.
And that's like, and here's the thing, like if you are all in on whatever, keep doing it.
Yeah,
Keep doing it.
absolutely.
But there's that fine line of like,
There's
if this
other
doesn't
things.
work out, what are you going to do?
Next week, I'm going to Vancouver to snowboard. And while I'm there, I'm doing bungee jumping.
I'm flicking them off for those who are listening to this online and not watching it. I'm going to hold it for a while.
That's a life experience. You should be able to go out and experience things in life. Like if you want to go, see Rome, do it. If you want to downhill mountain bike, do it. You want to learn how to surf,
Which
do
is
it.
why you are here. That fucking mentality, your life philosophy.
And that's why I agreed to come on, because I think there's some value in that.
Absolutely.
I think other people think that, I live in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I can't learn how to surf. You may be an incredible surfer, but you've never tried. Maybe you've always wanted to, but you've never tried.
You said something in Houston that like blew my mind. You said, it was like, I'm probably going to butcher this, but you were like, it was along the lines of, don't say you're going to do something unless you're going to actually do it or finish
Yeah,
it.
if I ever say I'm going to do something, consider it already done.
Yeah, and it was like about something that happened. Someone who said they're going to do something and didn't.
Well, even before that, like for example, I went downhill mountain biking in Colorado. Super fun. I mean, you go up on these ski resorts and ride the gondolas up, and you rent these like $10,000 bicycles and what have you. But while I was there, we went to this watering hole, a local watering hole. And they got a big rock cliff you can jump off of. But it's surrounded by rocks, and in certain areas in the water there are rocks. So you have to land in these certain areas.
Reminds me of the gorge in Erie. It was like a little one spot you could jump into.
But it's like a lot bigger. And
Did you jump?
not only did I jump, my loudmouth decided I'm going to backflip before I even got there, before I even saw it. I'm like, I think I'm going to backflip off of this. My ass already ran my mouth. I said I was going to do it. So I got there and I have to do it. So I get there and we did some practice jumps, And mind you, we're not the only ones there. There's 50, 80 people there and some of the locals. And I go up to the rock ledge and I back up. And I'm looking at like I'm gonna backflip, and the locals are like, whoa, 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 hey, come here.
That's your fucking first clue.
They're like, we see what you're gonna do, and it's fine, but make sure that you get away from the ledge, because if you go straight down, there's rocks. They're like, you have to get some distance. But mind you, if you go too far, there's rocks that way.
So you have to find the sweet spot.
Yeah.
As you're backflipping.
The problem is that when I do my backflips, I go straight up and then straight down. And so when I did it, I had to lean off the rocks and I pushed away from the rocks. So I over rotated, because doing a whole 360 degrees, if I'm starting already 90 degrees rotated, I'm finishing 90 degrees rotated.
How bad did it hurt?
Oh, it was
Okay, I knew that was going there.
Yeah, knocked the wind out of myself. Almost hit my head off these rocks, and I mean, I got very close to going to the hospital. My ego was hurt the most because I did it in front of like 80 people. But anyway, it's back to one of those things. I said I was going to do it. I'm not going to run my mouth. Say I'm going to do something if I'm not going to do it. If you're going to talk about it, be about it. If you don't, if you don't want it, don't. I don't care. I'm not going to think less of you. You don't want to skydive? Don't do it. Don't say it. I don't care. It's not for everyone.
It's the
principle.
And that's a huge thing for me. And that has taught me to like check my tongue, check myself, like if I'm not really sure about this, I'm not going to talk about it yet. Like I'll say I'm interested. I'll see.
No one ever remembers the guy who almost did something.
Yeah. So it's like,
the one thing I do hold my hat on is I go, how many Ironman finishers do you know? Usually they're like, you.
Iron Mike.
How many
Iron Mike.
licensed skydivers do you know? They're like, you.
How many motocross people do you know? You.
Yeah, so it's like I like to think of myself as just a ordinary guy who does unordinary things.
You are unordinary.
And just, but anyone could do these things, And,
Well, that's the beauty of it. Like,
and I tell people all the time, you should do these things, and you shouldn't dig your heels in so hard. Life is very, very short, very unpredictable.
I mentioned this in another episode. I was getting coffee with a buddy of mine, and there was a sign behind him. And it was like a hipster coffee place, but the sign fucking hit me. You are in your glory days.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
you're never going to be
or was
younger
it-
than
no,
you
it
are
was-
this right now.
these are the good old days.
Yep.
And that put me in
Yeah.
dude, in 10, 20, 30
You're
years.
never going to be as young as you are right in this very moment again.
Yeah. You don't want to be that person going, man, I've always wanted to skydive, but now I'm too old.
Yeah. And like Sean, for example, Sean spent 19 years in the Marine Corps, which is actively killing him and his mental health for a pension he never got to use, never got to see. And for what? It's like you can work your tail off, saving all this money and whatever, and then die unexpectedly. And all that money is going to sit in a bank account, get split up, dispersed by people, and gone. And all those seconds, minutes, hours, days, months, years that you wasted doing it to save all this money for other people is for what?
I will say this, though. Sean fucking did a service that not a lot of people
Oh, no,
do.
I know
So,
that.
like,
But I
I see what you
absolutely
mean in the sense
believe
of, like,
had
that
he
it-
not stayed in.
that is so true in the sense of like, and it could be applied to anything, but like, how do you want your life to look? How do you want it to turn out?
How had he not stayed in this job that was killing his mental health, he would still be here. I bet every penny I have on it.
Yeah.
But he's gone. And all the money that he had, his bank accounts, his assets, all got split up, dispersed. And the only remembrance is the people that remember him and carry on and do the things that, you know. So his loss in life wasn't for nothing because I, live through him. And, but it opened my perspective of I don't want to work every day saving for a 401k so that way I can spend my 70s sitting in a chair or watching Fox News and not having to worry about my rent being paid.
And that's why I was so excited to put you on, because what is success? When I ask that question to people, it's like becoming partner at my firm. Okay, valid, sure. What is success? Winning worlds in black belt. Okay, valid. What is success? Everyone has their definition of success. But like that, like it's so nuanced. What is your definition
when I
of success?
die, don't be wrong. Like I'm super proud of the Iron Man. All right. But when I die, through my life's reel, it's not going to be me crossing the Iron Man finish line. It's going to be me putting my Iron Man medal over my dad's head because he is what inspired me. He knew I was capable of doing the Iron Man before I even did it, before I even knew, because of the years he saw me growing up. And every time I fall, he'd make me get myself back up. When I was a little kid and I was playing Little League, we were in kid pitch. And I want to say it was like 5th grade or something. And I got hit with a ball. And it bruised up pretty bad, whatever. Next game, we went to the batting cages before the game. I got hit with the ball again. The machine was broken. I was terrified. Did not want to play baseball anymore. My mom's like, let him quit. Let him quit. And my dad would not let me quit. He was like, you'll ride the bench all season for all I care. You signed up to do this, you're going to see it through. And I was terrified. Would not play. And if I didn't bat, I couldn't go out and I couldn't field. That was the rule. And so I rode the bench for most of the season. Last game of the year, I finally got the courage. I'm like, I want to play. Hit a triple. But he made me go through that embarrassment of riding the bench the whole season while everyone else played because I was too afraid to step in the batter's box again. But it's things like that my dad did before I was a man that helped me go to the Marine Corps, be successful in the Marine Corps, do the Iron Man, believe in myself and have the intestinal fortitude. So he knew I was an Iron Man. So when I look back on my life and success, I'm going to look at like that, putting the medal on him, saying this medal is just nothing more than a representation of the things you did as my dad. That's like success to me. When you get your skydiving license and I get to jump with you, that's success to me. We're out here just jumping out of airplanes for fun and doing flips and stuff. You know, that's, you know, awesome. Snowboarding in Vancouver, bungee jumping, you know, racing motocross with my friends. I don't care. Like I didn't race moto for a long time after because of how bitter I was about it. But I got to a point now, I don't care if I get dead last. I'm riding dirt bikes with my friends on the weekends. Like my life ain't that bad. Making memories, you know, and that's success to me.
Dude,
I think
that's probably been the best definition I've received of what is success, because it comes from a place of like, I know who I am. I know where I'm at.
and it's not like and not to take anything away
No,
from some of those
absolutely
people
not.
getting on a partner at a firm or being a world at jiu-jitsu. But really those are awards given by other people. That is other organizations or people giving those things to you, saying that you meet the criteria or you did the work, whatever. These are things that I give myself. These are things that I
would
look
mic drop. I
inward.
would mic drop if these weren't $400 mics. Holy crap. That is so true. A lot of our definitions of success is how we're perceived by someone else.
Yeah. I love who I am. I love what I stand for. I love the things I do. I love my friends. And I think I am a very blessed, lucky man to be living the life that I am. And when my time comes, that it's my time to go, I'll go with a smile and I'll look back and be like, you know what? I'm cool with it. I did everything I wanted to do because there's nothing else I could do. I've been surfing in Southern California. I've snowboarded in Colorado. I've skydived, you know, was a United States Marine. I did the Ironman.
So what's next?
I don't know. I'm open to anything. Like I want to climb one of the 7 summits. You know, I want to do base jumping. Once I get the jump criteria, I'm gonna definitely do a hot air balloon jump this summer. Out of Cleveland Skydive, they do hot air balloon jumps a couple times a year.
Stay tuned for the fish reel, because your life is a movie, bro. And I'm here for it. I'm
not living main character energy. That means I'm part of a bigger story. I'm not. I'm in my own story. You know, and I love the people I'm surrounded by. I think that
You're welcome.
yeah, you're one of them though. You're one of them. I just wish that you would stop messing around and get your skydiving.
I ain't messing around. It's a work in progress.
Yeah.
As am I. Always a work in progress.
Yeah.
I told you I'm gonna do it, so it's gonna be done.
I've been waiting. I'll be out here getting all these jumps done.
Yeah, well, we don't all just fly by the seats of our pants, which I respect about you, and it makes me want to be better. So I appreciate you.
But out here, I'm like, I'm jumping. I'm like,
This
man,
dude's
I'm
got
good.
more jumps in a fucking weekend than I have in my life.
I got more jumps in one afternoon. than
Yeah,
you have.
seriously,
Like,
it's crazy. Like you're just, but you know that's I think that's why we mesh so
dude, it's
well.
gonna be
Like,
so much fun though. Like when
you got 230 pounds of milk just falling out of the
it's fun
sky.
because I'm getting ready to order my rig, and I'm getting the 60-pound weighted belt with it,
Oh, so you can
so I can keep up with
see,
you.
like this dude's he's so thoughtful. He got a
Yeah.
weighted belt so he can fall as fast as me because I'm.
People don't realize they think they just fall the same. No, you're gonna fall faster than me.
Because I'm challenged. I'll say that.
Yeah.
I have a couple challenges.
Cut through the air a little better,
Better or just
more efficiently.
Yeah. Well, bro, this has been a fire conversation.
Yeah,
I
they
appreciate
always
it.
are.
We are. Guess what time we're at?
What?
Take a guess.
I don't know.
That's the point. No, don't look.
I didn't keep a timer.
No, but you know when we started.
no, I give a guess.
I ain't dumb. Take a guess.
2 hours.
2.5 hours. This has been the longest. We're on Joe Rogan time now.
Yeah.
Dude, this is and it didn't even feel like that. I looked down, I'm like, oh. Well, my computer didn't shut
The
down.
crazy
That's a
part
plus.
is like we could go another 2 hours and
easily.
easily.
And I literally told him when we pulled up to for the
even after these mics cut off, we're probably still going to talk about other things.
We are. And this is an undisclosed location, but as you can see, we're surrounded by a lot of pretty dope stuff, dope people, a lot of history.
Yeah, we didn't even go into my army buddy.
Yeah, no, good. Probably good for
Probably
him.
for the
but,
best.
when I cut this episode, I'm bringing the saw out just for clickbait.
Yeah.
YouTube will probably cut it down.
get a
It's
picture.
it's an airsoft. It's an airsoft gun.
Very, very soft.
Yeah. But for real quick, for those of you who don't know, we did like a little skit video when we had Valor Labs. We had it on there. We had all kinds,
Yeah, the AT4,
yeah,
a
all
couple
kinds
hand
of
grenades.
crazy stuff. But yeah, dude, I appreciate you for bringing me into this. Like, every time I come in here, I feel like I have to salute before I walk in. Like that's the aura, the vibe we're in, and it's just like
It's a lot of service in here.
it is. It's a lot of service. It's a lot of stories,
All
a lot
over
of
the
history.
world, a lot of wars.
We got a bald eagle, right? Just I don't know if you. Oh yeah, you can see it right there. Like that's pretty sick.
Yeah, it's Green Beret, some commandants. We got a couple Medal of Honor recipient signatures over there.
Dude, this is crazy. We're gonna
cool
talk.
stuff.
We got a lot to talk about, but again, this is the Relentless Project and with Fish, and we're out.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. Later.